everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Army Think Tank podcast. Today is a very special episode. It's episode 7. We all know that this one means a lot. For those who don't know, I'm Jan.
Jess.
Gabby.
And today we have a very special guest. We have ArtistNameSeven with us.
Hello.
Very exciting.
Yes, insert like
all the gifts of excitement ever created.
Yes, all gifts all the time. So excited.
And so
how are you doing today, Seven?
Yeah.
I'm good. Just a bit tired. I've been working like nonstop for the past like month, trying to get everything ready for just this whole year. And I've got like 4 hours of sleep in like the last week, so it's really tough. But I'm good. I hope you guys are doing well too.
That's good to hear. And
The excitement is off the charts.
Off the charts. I saw the Instagram story today, and I had to take like 5 minutes just to like chill.
I mean, I was there at 3:30 a.m. my time, and we were having that small conversation, and I was like, I am awake at the right time.
Actually, I wasn't even gonna post anything. I didn't really like how the video came out. And so then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to post it. And then my sister was like, it looks okay. Like, I'm sure people are going to like it. And I was like, all right, let's see what happens. So
It was so good.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
see, that's the thing with artists too, because sometimes Jess will like create an edit. It's right. I know that face. Jess will create an edit, and then she'll post it like, guys, what do you think of this? And we're like, Jess, that's amazing. And then she's like, oh, thank you. I'm just like, girl, that's exactly what she sounds like.
Yeah, we've asked her this year to take the compliments.
Yeah, I think it's like good to just like accept compliments and just say when someone's like, yeah, you did a good job, just be like, yeah, thank you. I think she's getting better a little bit.
At a
Slowly
time.
but surely.
We're building our way up to
We'll get there at some point.
appreciating compliments. I don't know, like, I always see the flaws in things. I'm like, oh, like, this could have been like this. Maybe I should change it. This doesn't look that good. I don't know, like, yeah. Never satisfied with the end result.
I mean, I get you. I'm the same with my translation. I was like, oh, but this structure is meh, but it works, but
Am I the only person that like every time I do something and it comes out real good, I'm just like, you did such a good job.
but it's a good thing.
Yeah, that's like...
yeah.
I will like, because I recognize when I work hard on things, and if something is like good, I'll just be like, damn, I did a good job. Even sometimes, even if I knew I could have done a bit better, I'm just like, well, that's a next time issue.
I'm like that with my thumbnails, though. I'm real proud of my thumbnails.
Yes, you take every opportunity to tell us that.
I love my thumbnails, guys. So if you have someone to, hit me up. All right. So we kind of just like wanted to do a bit like an interview kind of thing with you, Seven, if that's all right with you.
Of course.
I'm the master of segues, but I will try to dial it back this week. Jess, you were the first one to put out question. Do you want to ask the first question?
Yeah, sure. Let me just pull it up here.
Do you have it up?
I have it up. We're fine.
Yes.
We're here. We're here.
Chaos. That's our motto.
Always, all the time. So I like had a lot of like artistic sort of questions. So like, where do you find, like, what is your inspiration? Like, where does it come from? How do you get inspired?
So I think knowing like the BTS universe in general, I think just inspires me just because of like all the theories. I started studying BTS back in like 2016 when the Young Forever album came out. And so from then on, I started like just looking at little Easter eggs, looking at little theories here and there. And so initially when I started like just making light boxes, I told myself like, if you're gonna be a pioneer in making something like this, you better make sure that you're doing like the best that you possibly can, so that if anybody else like, because my end goal was to create something that any stan would see and automatically be like, that's BTS.
Ah,
And so I try my best to just I guess just find what like the um how can I say it? I guess just find like the theme of each specific, either like each song, music video, or era, and try to pile as much as possible while keeping it like very simplistic, minimalistic, but also in a way where like I would myself want to purchase that like item
right.
or want to have that piece of art like in my house, you know? So like my main inspiration is just like the love that I have for BTS.
Mm.
Like they helped me cope so much, and so I want to like portray that into like the work that I do. Initially the first design that I created went viral on TikTok, and it was pretty much like a concert light box. And this is around the time when COVID hit, and
Mm.
when everybody was just locked in their houses. And so people who weren't able to go to the concert saw that light box and saw that it reminded them of being at the concert or having them close by. And so that specific light box that I created was music reactive. So any song that you played, the LEDs would like play along with that song. And so everybody just loved that design just because it reminded them of like the concert, you know, and being there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. And that's actually like how I found you was TikTok, and that first like video you posted.
Mhm.
I was just like, okay, first of all, who is this guy? I need to like look it up. I need to see what's going on, you know.
That's usually what happens with TikTok, though. You find
Yeah.
like an artist or anything, or like, do you have a shop?
Do you have a shop? Can I like what's going on here? I need to know.
Because you mentioned that, like, for me, when I first saw them, the first thing that hit me was the simplicity of it, but also the universality of it as well. Because you're looking at it, it's like it's a simple image, but it's so expansive to the point where you can see it, everybody can see the same thing, but you might have different interpretations of what you're seeing, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense.
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So like when did you, with regards to that, like when did you find out that you like to express yourself in like creative ways, or have you just always known that about yourself and then it just developed gradually?
So early on in my childhood, I was kind of just very artistic, but I never really like actually made any effort to kind of just improve on like just my artistic skills or anything like that.
Mm.
Um, I did take a couple of like art classes throughout like high school and college just because they were easy for me, and I was like easy credits, just taking them. I don't really like doing them. I think what happened when I created light boxes, and this is the whole like this is the story behind why I created light boxes, and opened my shop, but it was because I fell in love with somebody and they lived like across the world, and so they were in army, and so we met through Amino, and I heard a podcast last week about Amino, and I was like, oh man, they hate it.
Not hate, not hate. It used to be great.
Oh.
So this was like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I met this person there, and so just to give a little background about myself, I wasn't born in the US. Even though I lived in
Mm.
the US, I was brought here as a kid by my parents, and I'm able to like work legally through this program called DACA that President Obama put into place. And there really is no road to citizenship right now for any like undocumented immigrants within the US,
Mm.
unless you came through like a visa or just like an illegal way, right? But since I was brought here as a child when I was like around 8 years old, I don't really have that opportunity. And so when I fell for this person, I was like, well, there's literally no way that you can come here or that I can somehow bring you here because I'm not a citizen. and there's no way that I can go where you are just because it's such a different just environment in general,
Right.
that there's like a language barrier, there's just like so much cultural barriers.
Mm.
And I was like, how about if I create something that's gonna provide us with enough revenue to then have us move somewhere? And then one of the places was like Canada, and we're like, we might end up like going there, you know, or somewhere where like a government might let us both kind of just be there.
Right.
And so that was like my main inspiration for creating Lightboxes. And so I think the whole reason why the the things that I do come out so well is because I do them from like the bottom of my heart, and also because I'm like, this is for love, you know.
Oh,
So.
that's
I'm
so
sorry, long
sweet.
distance thing.
Oh, Jan!
Because I myself is in a long distance relationship,
Mhm.
have been for almost 5 years.
Oh,
And so it always makes me cry. I'm sorry.
that's okay. No, yeah. I think and the other thing, just like an update, unfortunately, long distance relationships were really hard. And this relationship in particular didn't end up working out. It ended a couple months ago. And I think that's when I kind of just like stopped what I was doing in general. Just I took it like a huge break from my shop,
Right.
just because I was like, do I want to continue something that I created for somebody, but that I probably will have like no use of like moving forward?
Right.
But then it wasn't until I started seeing like people send me pictures or videos of them unboxing like light boxes and everything, and then seeing how like literally like they cried when they were opening like a package, you know,
Like how
when
much
the first
joy
time.
you brought them.
Exactly. And so I was just like, well, it's a really dark time right now. I think like the best that I can do right now to bring people like, you know, some sort of joy is to like continue creating and putting out like the best of me out into the world.
Ah,
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Jan!
Ah!
Get it together!
Ah!
I'm sorry, I don't know if that answered your question. I kind of went on a rant there. So.
No,
No.
like we don't need to stay in within the questions. That's
Yeah,
totally
totally
fine.
okay.
We never stay within our guidelines anyway.
Say
Never.
whatever you feel comes to you. No, I think that that's really, really amazing because I've always had this mentality that like the people that come into your life don't necessarily have to stay there all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come into your life to show you something about yourself and bring out the best in yourself. That doesn't mean that um we should look back on things that don't work out as a negative. There's always a positive to take out of
Yeah.
everything. So this person like came into your life and brought you so much joy, and then you were able to take that and just like give it to thousands of people. So I think that's pretty amazing. But like, did you expect the reaction? You said you posted it on TikTok, but did you expect the reaction that you got?
I didn't. And so I think like another reason why my shop became successful was that I wasn't trying to, you know, gain a lot of followers,
Right.
or I didn't really do it for like clout pretty much. And so I kind of pretty much did it because I was like, I want to be with this person. I love this person, and I'm gonna try my best to, you know, show that love within like the things that I create. And I think people saw that as well. The other thing too was that it's crazy that I'm here right now just because before I posted on TikTok, like that day, I was gonna close down like my shop.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah, I was just because I started creating them like a year prior. So I
Oh.
prototyped them. Then 6 months before shutting down, I put them up on sale. I put them up on like IG everywhere, and they weren't getting traction. And then I was just like, man, I was like, I thought I created something beautiful, but I guess, you know, it's probably not the right time. And so in terms of just sales, they were there, but I was just like, you know what? I was like, I don't think it's gonna work out. Like I should probably start trying to figure out something else that I could create. And so then I remember hearing, oh, because Instagram, so when you like pay for Instagram ads, you barely even sometimes scratch the surface of like the community you're trying to um put those ads towards. Like I
Right.
remember paying like I think like $50 and only getting like 300 views and like 2 followers
what?
from like the video that I created, right?
That's crazy.
And so then I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm tired. I tried my best. That is what it is.
Yeah.
And then I remember that's when TikTok started blowing up. And my sister made a video and she's like, oh, I got 1,000 views in just 1 hour. And I was like, oh my God, like, imagine if I post something there and I get 1,000 views without having to pay. Like, that would be
Right.
great, you know? So then I went ahead and then that night, I stayed up till like 4 in the morning to like edit this video. And then I put it up. I went to sleep. And then when I woke up, it had around like 22,000 views.
Oh my
And then
God.
an hour later, it had like 500K. And then another like 4 hours later, it was already like at 1 million. And I was just like, oh my God. I was like, I think this is it. I think it's happening.
The
Find your
magic of
medium.
TikTok. Yeah, the magic of TikTok, I swear.
Pretty much.
I feel like that's so true though, because like visual mediums are just such a great way to convey feeling without saying anything.
Mhm.
Like without like making a post about it or whatever. You can just like make a video and you like
Yeah.
know exactly like what this person is about.
No, yeah, definitely. And I think another thing too was just trying to, I think I pride myself in my shop in selling something that not only is like a piece of art, but it also kind of just evokes emotion, like in the best way possible.
Yup.
And so whenever I edit my videos, so for example, like the first video that went viral, I made sure to like add the Love Yourself song and kind of choose kind of the bridge of the song to have it be that like huge reveal, because I knew that that part, specific part, was going to bring you some type of emotion, and it worked. So then I was like, great, let me do that for my following videos. And that's when the We Are Bulletproof Lightbox came into play. And I was like, let me make sure to just, you know, edit this in a way where it's going to evoke like emotion for all the armies that have stand for like so long, or the new armies, you know? And so that's when I like
Jess had a reaction.
Literally me. Literally me. I saw the video. I don't even know how many times I watched it because it was just such, like you said, like it was such an emotional response. I was not expecting it. It was just like hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, all right, sick. This is awesome.
And yeah, her like she filmed herself opening the package.
Mhm.
She had a reaction.
It's special. Let me tell you. It's oh, it's something.
She could probably show you.
I'll show you. Yeah, I'll put it in this video too, but like yeah, it was an emotion of some kind. I'm usually not like that speechless a lot of the time, but like there's something about
She was stuttering. She was
yeah, I was like broken.
She was on the verge of breaking again. Like
yeah. I mean, I did like when I opened the light stick, because I like stayed up like all night until that thing was like ready to drop. I was not gonna miss it. I was like, nope, we're staying up. We're waiting until it drops on the Etsy site. And I remember opening it for the first time and just this like wave of like I can't even describe it. Like it was just like calming, but also just like so emotional. It hit so hard. Such a good job.
I need
Thank
this in my
you.
life.
I'm glad you guys love it. I'm glad
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just think that like so I think everybody has like a different relationship when it comes to the panorama, when it comes to COVID, that we have to like stay inside. And I follow a lot of people who've said that the solitude or being by themselves has allowed them to create in ways that they didn't think of before, or it's allowed them to like come up with like new ideas or new design ideas. Like, is that the same for you? Like, has COVID, like, has it like inspired your work in any way? Has it hindered you in any way?
In short, no, but let me explain. So throughout my childhood, I've dealt with clinical depression. So ever since I was in seventh grade back in 2007, and I'm dating myself here, what's it called? I started dealing with clinical depression. And so I would kind of keep to myself for a lot of the time. And it was a huge struggle just because within my culture, at that time, mental health wasn't that big of an issue, or it wasn't seen as a real like issue at all. And so I had no way to kind of like deal with it, or to kind of like look for resources, right? And so then I've been alone by myself for a very, very long time. I dealt with it for around like 12 years. And so for more than a decade, I've kind of just kept to myself. And unfortunately, I think the sad thing here is that, at least for me, is that I spent like more than a decade fighting with myself, like me and my thoughts. Um, that when I finally did come out of my depression, I felt like in the race of life, like I was so behind. So I then saw every single person that I kind of graduated school with, and I saw how like they had kids, or they started a family, or they were continuing with their careers. And I was just like, oh my God, like I've literally been fighting with myself for 12 years, and I just got out of it. I'm just starting this race while everybody's just like either finished or is already ahead of the game, you know? And so it wasn't until I kind of just started delving more into music and into just things that I liked on my own, that I started to then like learn how to cope. And that's how I then found BTS, where I was just like, maybe BTS didn't save my life, but they helped me cope so much, which is like me being in a dark place for so long. And so it wasn't until then that I started seeing the community and seeing everything that they were creating, that I was just like, oh my God, like this is amazing. I want to be like somebody like this someday. But I think the main thing that drives me to create things that are just better and better is that I see a lot of just shops, and this isn't like no hate to anybody, but I see a lot of shops that are just kind of like stagnant within the things that they create, where once somebody goes viral or somebody creates something, like they just stay there instead of pushing forward. So, for example, I haven't released any of the things that I've been creating over like the past year with a couple artists, but one of the things that I decided to do was create my own packaging, where I was just like, you know what? I was like, this is great, but it could be better. And so I think that's what also kind of just pushed me forward to include like sound modules, include music box covers, and things like that. So in that sense, once I did start to finally just create things on my own, and kind of miss concerts, to be honest. Like actually the only time I ever went out of my house was for concerts, and I would go by myself because I was like, I can buy the best seats that way, and I can just be with myself. And most of the like friends that I have now, I met them in concert lines.
Oh yeah.
And so that's when I was just like, and then so missing that sense of like being in a concert, or just missing like the groups that I love, because it kind of like helped me, or has helped me push forward in creating things that like remind me of them.
Right.
And so that's what I've been trying to what's it called, just create. But also I've seen other shops starting, and I was just like, well, what can I do to stay ahead of the game,
Right.
so in that sense it kind of just pushes me forward. And that's one of the reasons why I dropped what I dropped yesterday, where I saw somebody doing something, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I think it's time for me to kind of just like release everything I have for this quarter, so that there won't be any like misunderstandings or anything like that, just to make sure that I like show everything that I have, and see what happens from there.
I love that mentality. I have a very similar one where it's you always want to make something better and push yourself to try different things and to like evolve your creativity over time, right?
Mhm.
I totally resonate with that too because I'm always trying to do the same. It's very hard to to, you know, like do the same things. Like I do kind of have my own signature when it comes to like editing. I have a very like specific style, but I'm always trying to like evolve those things to be better and better and better and better. Because like
Yeah.
you're never gonna be like perfect, but you can always try to be better. And there's always gonna be somebody who's better than you. And if you just try to like continue on forward, it
Oh, yeah.
definitely helps.
My thing is too, like, there's always gonna be somebody quote unquote better than you, but what I try to do is that I strive to be better than who I was. So is it I do like look at other people and I'm like, okay, like what are other people doing? But at the same time, I know that um we're in completely different stages of life, and that's fine. Am I evolving like I should be? Am I taking the necessary steps to make myself better at this thing? Not necessarily better but than somebody else, but like better than I was a week ago or better
Right.
than I was 2 weeks ago. And like as you said, it's really easy to fall into stagnancy. Like if you have a thing that's working, it's easy to just do that thing for as long as
Yeah.
you can do it. But it takes a certain level of courage to be like, okay, like this is working, but what am I doing to push my creativity and express myself to the best of my ability? And I think that's great. I think it's amazing when people are able to like step out of their comfort zones, because then you don't know what's gonna happen after.
Yeah. And then you
And
get
for that same reason, that's how I like personally am able to see how passionate someone is about something. Because it's if you're staying in the same spot, I think like yes, you might be passionate about something, but if you're able to move forward and just better yourself and just push the limits of what your creativity can do, it shows how much you love doing what you do, and that's just amazing.
Thank you. I think the other thing too was that I wanted to kind of set the bar pretty high for what I make so that if another competitor does come along, they'll make me work harder, but I hope that the designs that I make inspire them to create something even better than me, so that,
yes,
and because in the end it benefits the customer, it benefits all the armies like around the world, you know.
Mm.
for
And if there's
sure.
good competition, I think that it gives everybody just kind of like more to kind of appreciate, but also to have, you know. And I think I've always been pretty hard on myself in terms of just like creativity, and I think on people too, that create stuff, not in a negative way, but I come to a like a point where I'm like, it's 2021. I think we can do better. Like, I think we have the technology, the resources to create something that can, you know, like exceed what everybody else is making. So like, let me try to be kind of the force to push that forward and see if like what'll happen, you know.
Right.
Mm.
But that's me.
Totally. Totally. No, I completely agree with that sentiment as well. I I am also clearly very hard on myself, as Gabby and Janelle well know. They're well versed in that self
In the Jess universe,
critic.
yes. Hmm.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to move past, because at least for me anyway, it's you're
You're always going to be your harshest critic.
yeah, and I'm always seeing like the flaws in things, but sometimes you just gotta like put it out there, because people don't like they're not gonna see the flaws that you see. They're only gonna see like the work as a whole. They're not gonna nitpick like each individual like specific part of it that you are concentrating on. So sometimes you just gotta like drop and go.
No, but the thing is, see, I used to be like that. I was like, I think around like high school, I would say elementary to high school, like I was so hard on myself. Like it was getting to a point where it was, I think, kind of unhealthy, because
Mm,
it it would get to like I needed to be the best at everything. Everything, especially when it came to school and grades. Like if I got like an 80%, if I got a B, I would start to cry.
I feel that.
I would like it was bad, and I think I don't know how it happened. I can't pinpoint the exact moment that it did, but I was just thinking to myself, is this worth it? Is it really? I get it if it's something that you are extremely passionate about. I get that. But at some point, I'm like something's gotta give. And I don't like it's like my personality now and my personality then is a complete 180 because I try to not take things too seriously. Like the things that don't matter, I just try to like
Gabby there is our resident strong woman.
Yeah, true.
it's not even that. I think it's I don't even think I'm necessarily like that strong because like I don't know what I am, but like I try.
You're strong until it comes to Levi.
Yeah, I think you have mastered the art of letting go and being like
I just realized that there are things that I'm not going to be able to control, which is an antithesis because I'm kind of a control freak, but we're not gonna get into that. we won't do that today. But yeah, I just realized that there are just some things that I am not going to change. And that's fine. That is completely okay. But I want to get back to something that Seven said because you were saying that you like if somebody comes out with something, it'll push you to do better. Not everybody has that mindset. There's always I feel like there's like a level of like, no, because when you said when he said that, I was like, oh wait, that is interesting because
it's a good mindset to have though.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's this like level of jealousy that can come about. Like if you see that you're doing something and then somebody else comes out with something that you did, I think that a lot of people can have like a sense of jealousy when it comes to that, or they may not take it well. Like how did you and I feel like that like just like listening to you, I feel like that might be don't want to put words in your mouth, but I feel like that might be like because the things that you're putting out is really really good. So does it come from the fact that you have like a level of certainty and confidence in your art where you're not too bothered by what other people put out, or if they try to like put out this do the same things that you are?
I think the main thing is that I am confident in what I make.
Mhm.
Like so I think what I have going for me is pretty much just knowing K-pop and knowing our boys.
Yeah.
Like the amount of Easter eggs that I put in my light boxes are like just beyond what I think anybody else has done so. And I try not to like put that out there just because I don't want because I've seen like other people not do that. And whenever somebody does purchase something for me and they have one of my light boxes, they're like, oh my God, I was staring at it and I just saw this like little whale here hidden. And I was like, yes, like I put that there. Or I saw like the masked person from Fake Love, like, hiding behind this tree. And I was like, yep, like that's there. Or even something as small as putting in like a swan constellation in the Fake Love light box. Like some people might not see it, but it's there, I think something else like that I recently posted, I think yesterday, was how for one of the versions of 0 o'clock, the whale is kind of like taking up most of the frame, but behind it there's a whole city, like a cityscape in a 1 point perspective version of it. And so
that's so cool.
yeah, so then I was just like, you guys might not know it's there, but it is. Like, trust me that like I try my best to kind of just put that out there. I think the only thing that bothers me with people creating products like mine are that they steal my designs. And I have like this huge problem with that. Not because like I don't like that person or I don't like that shop. It's just that if I created that specifically from like like my love for BTS, my love for like the universe, my love for just creating in general, and somebody just comes and blatantly just like steals it, like that gives me so much anxiety. I've dealt with around like 9 shops stealing like the first design that I ever made, and then having to contact them and be like, hey, I was like, I'm glad you love my work, but like, can you not sell my design because it's my
Yeah,
design?
what?
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so luckily, most of them are like, oh no, yeah, totally. I think there was only one shop recently that kind of took that design, and we had a conversation about it where I was like, hey, I was like, I don't like drama. I don't like to put people on blast. Let's handle this as like, civil people.
Right.
I'm glad that you love my work, and you have the freedom to create whatever it is that you want, just as long as it's not like a complete replica of what I've made. And so they were like, no, yeah, for sure. I just love what you do. You're an inspiration. I'm going to create my own things, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, cool, great. Like, go ahead, you do that. And then it wasn't until like recently that I found out that like they blocked me. They deleted a bunch of messages that we had within our chat. And blatantly just like stole that design and then tried to sell it until like my sister contacted them and was like, hey, what's going on? And so then they just deleted everything after that. And then any reference they had towards my shop that, like videos that they made comparing things like that, um, they kind of just removed. And I was just like, well, I was like, we had a conversation. Like, I don't understand what's going on. And I think it's like that anxiety that kind of like makes me sometimes question if I should continue what I do. Just because as a shop owner and as a creator, it's really discouraging when somebody just like steals what you made and then just sells it as their own and then they get the credit for it. And you're just kind of like, I don't know, like for me it gives me so much anxiety that I get panic attacks, or I start losing like feeling like within like my hands or just like my body just in general. And it's really hard to deal with because as a creator you don't know how to deal with it. You're like, should I call this person out? Should I message them? What if I message them and they don't reply? What if they don't care? The other thing is that like some of these people who do this are international, so
Right.
even within like trying to like file like a copyright violation, it's difficult just because they're from a different country. And so I think that's what kind of just bothers me in terms of just like creating. But I do have really amazing followers and fans that anytime somebody posts something similar to what I created, they immediately just send me an email or a DM, and they're like, hey, don't know if you're aware of this, but this person created this. And I'm like, okay. And most of the time, it's something similar to mine, not exactly what I made. Like they took their own like theme into it. So I'm just like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But recently there was somebody else who literally like took even the constellations and then put it into like the product that they made. And I was just like, hey, I was like, I'm DMing you just because like I noticed that you kind of just copied something that I created. And they were like, I didn't copy anybody. And I was like, okay, well, I hide my name in all my products. Like you might not see it. It might be in a cloud. It might be in a piece of clothing. It might be in a constellation. So let me point it out to you. Like, let me tell you exactly where my name is within this product that you copied. And so it wasn't after that. And then after that, they were like, all right, my bad. And I was like, okay. I was like, those funds that you made, I was like, send them directly to me or else I'm going to press charges.
Yeah.
And so they were like, okay, like, I don't want to have any like drama, blah, blah. And I was like, great. I was like, because I don't want that either.
Yeah.
So it's like dealing with those things behind the scenes that it's kind of just takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
I can like I've cried more like while owning a shop than ever like in my entire life, just because like of those situations, or I'm stressed about like orders or something got lost or this and that. But at the end of the day it's rewarding. But to go back to the initial question, I'm not too worried about other shops creating what I do, just because I've set such a high standard for myself. um and I try to offer everybody like the best thing possible. So I'm like, if that's me including um like a music box cover for free and just like sending it out to everybody who purchased a light box, then so be it. If that's me putting like hours not sleeping but also like getting things done, working with other artists to create something beautiful like packaging, like I'll do it. At the end of the day, I think I just want to get back to everybody who has helped me get to where I am. And I hope that whatever it is that I'm gonna come out with this year, they'll love. Actually, so I'm gonna send you guys something on Instagram
Oh,
that I've been working on,
oh,
so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Oh my god. I'm
But
excited.
yeah, I
exciting.
hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes.
Exciting.
While you
Ooh.
were speaking, the word that like popped out to me was like authenticity. Like it's and the thing like there's this thing, well it's not the same, but there's this thing with like tattoo artists where people will take like like somebody will get a tattoo and they'll take that exact like tattoo artist design, and like in the tattooing world, and I'm pretty sure like in all like art spaces that's like a big no-no,
Yup.
and they'll like try to have other artists like do the tattoo and it never comes out like the same
Yeah.
because the authenticity isn't there, the passion for it isn't there. You're obviously not going to know how to present something that you didn't do by yourself. So I don't know if it helps at all, but I think that like even if people copy your work, they're not going to be able to embody the passion that comes when you're doing it yourself. Like there's just like no way, because like you can see the quality, you can see the work that you put into it, and if so, first of all, if somebody's just gonna like take that and copy, then they don't understand where the love for the art is coming from in the first place, and they're never gonna be able to pull it off. So and you're nicer than me for not naming names.
Just to be safe for the people, do not steal artists' works. You're being
Yeah.
a nass.
Yeah. Credit where credit is due.
Yes.
No, I'm petty. I'll be shouting names from.
We've seen what you can do.
We've
Gabby.
We've seen it. We've seen it. Come on.
You're better than me. 'Cause, no, no. Mm-mm. No,
We've
Yeah,
seen
like-
it, Gabby. You're a resident strong woman. We know.
they know. I put people on blast, and I don't care.
Mhm.
It's
No,
true.
yeah, definitely.
We've
I
seen
think
this
for
person.
You do it when it's required, though. You don't just like go out guns a blazing
Yeah.
for no freaking reason. You do it when it's deserved.
Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pew 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 pew.
No, yeah, definitely. I think
Well,
that's something.
I have a random question after this.
If I could just add one more thing,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
to everybody who's listening, like, please continue to support artists who love the boys, who love K-pop in general. I've seen so many shops open up that just do like that have no love for BTS, that have no love for the craft, that see an easy dime and then just like create something that's like similar to it instead of like all these like other shops who pour their hearts and souls into creating something beautiful.
Yeah.
I've seen somebody recently create something that I made and kind of like kind of mimic it, and I'm like, okay, let me look at your page, and I was like, okay, well, you're a Trump supporter, like I don't understand how like you're obviously not an army,
Yeah.
so I don't like
No.
like, and so then looking at like all the other posts, I see that they do like different forms of media but aren't really involved within like the K-pop community or just care about that. So then I'm like, okay, well, that's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that shops like that exist.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that everybody follows people or supports artists who like create and have a love for the craft, specifically for like the people that they do it for, the fandoms. So
Yeah, I totally
Do
agree
your
with that.
just research. Like honestly,
Yeah.
it's gotten to a point where if I'm looking at anything, I have to do like a deep dive. You can Google
Yeah.
anything. I
Totally.
I've gotten to a place where I just need to know where my money is going to. I think that there's a lot of like power in the consumer dollar, and if we choose what we want to do with our money, that's like one thing. Like it's a small thing that we can do to have an impact. So I just always try to make sure that I'm doing like some kind of research when I am purchasing things, because
no, yeah, definitely. Also, I sent you guys something on Instagram. I don't know if you guys want to check it out, but
Oh.
it's really cool. I'm really
I
proud
am
of
running. I
it.
have my sugar with me.
No.
No, that's no. No.
That is
Wait.
insane.
Yeah. So I created that a couple months ago with another artist. I gave them my idea and like a draft of what I wanted. And so we made it happen. And the inside looks beautiful too. There's just like a bunch of constellations.
Oh my
But I was just like,
I am in love.
this is what I want to like give back, you know, because I saw that there was a lot of people who, like once you receive a package, it's beautifully wrapped, but then most of the time it goes in the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And so I was just like, what can I do to be eco-friendly? And so I was gonna go towards buying biodegradable boxes. But then I was like, you know what? I was like, for me specifically, if I love packaging or something that comes in like great packaging,
Yeah.
I'll keep it and I'll put like small mementos in there,
Totally.
you know? So then I
Yeah.
was like, what if I create something that's like that people can put next to their albums or can,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
put things inside in there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so if you guys
So-
look at the bottom of the design, there's a little like image of like the boys with interacting with like a whale.
Oh,
So you could
yeah.
just flip that on its side, and then it could just be like an art piece that could be hanged anywhere.
So no, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
No.
I would
Incredible.
absolutely display that. Like,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then yeah, and then on the
I
on the
just buy
spine of
that.
it,
That
and
is
on the
so
spine of it, I kind of made it to look kind of like an album. So it
Yeah.
resembles the spine of an album, so that you can also just kind of like put it in like next to your
Yeah.
albums, just in case. But
oh,
you know,
so cool. I'm so into it.
Well, I have a random question for you, Seven.
go ahead.
So, I think it was 2 weeks ago we talked about who our bias was and how they became our
Oh.
bias.
Yeah.
Uh, what is yours?
My bias actually, it is funny. So initially I thought that Yoongi was my bias. If you guys look at the Forever Young album and all like the photos that they took, there's a specific photo of Yoongi wearing like this like striped shirt, this like
Oh.
blue and white
yeah.
striped shirt
Yeah.
with like a hat, or I don't know if it's like a beret.
Yeah.
But he, like, I saw that and I was like, this man has just like the most symmetrical face I've ever seen. Like, he's like a handsome man, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's attractive. Like, he has to be the visual of the group. Like, no question about it, you
Yeah.
know? And so then for a long time, for a couple months, I was like, yeah, that guy, like, what is he up to? Like, let me go on YouTube and then just find, just like Suga standalone videos of, whatever it is that he does, or his personality or whatever. But then one time when I signed up for a V Live, Jimin went live, and I was like, what is this? Let me check it out. So then as I was watching it, we were like just seeing how like his mannerisms, his smile, how he acted. I was like, I don't know what you're saying, but you're probably saying beautiful things. And he was just so ethereal, and I was just like, this man is just like an angel. And so every time he started like combing his hair, you know how before he used to just like comb his hair with his hands like all the time.
Yeah,
Like, that
all
was
the
his thing.
time.
Yeah.
And the boys would make fun of him for it.
Yeah. So literally I do the exact same thing. So every single time on cue when I would comb my hair, like he would do it the same. And I was just like, what is this? Are we soulmates? Like, what is going on?
My soul twin.
Very much. And
that's
so then
kind
after that, I was like, I need more of this person. Like, I want to know more. So then I started looking at more videos. And I think I related more to Jimin, just because how hard he is on himself, and how hard it is for him to kind of like get to a point where he loves himself.
Yeah.
And being part of the fandom at such a like early age when they started producing music, I saw the struggles that he went through with like self-image, and then fans wanting him to be like thinner or more muscular, or him being really hard on himself with his voice, or his performances. And I was just like, man, I was like, I think Jimin is the one that needs the most love out of like all the members, and so then I was like, I want to protect this person at all costs. And it wasn't until I went to the Love Yourself tour in LA, that I saw him perform Serendipity that I just started like crying. And I cried so hard. Actually, there's video of this. I started crying while singing along to Serendipity, but I cried not because I felt bad for him, but I cried because I felt so proud of him. Where I was just like, throughout these years, I've been seeing how you've grown as a person, and I feel like Serendipity was a staple in a song of him being like, I love who I am, and this is who I am as a person. Let me show you this through not only my voice but my performance. And so when I saw Serendipity, like I cried. I felt like a proud father that day.
Well, that's what's amazing with Jimin. He's so like shamelessly himself.
Yeah.
Well, especially now,
Especially
which is like an inspiration in itself.
No, yeah, definitely. And I feel like that was kind of like the moments that I was like, this person forever, moving forward until the day I die. My one true bias.
It's fun. We all have a different bias.
Yeah. I feel like...
actually, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I've seen this a couple of times where it's like your bias is the person that you like are like the most.
Do you think it's accurate, Jess?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. I was like, am I like Yoongi? Is that what's happening?
Yes, very much.
Yeah. I don't.
You are.
You are our strong woman.
Very
You
much
are.
like Namjoon. Very Namjoon-esque. Yes, you have lots of traits of Namjoon.
I will take your word for it, I guess.
Yes. Well,
Take our compliment,
I mean that guess that means that I'm very, very hardworking.
Yes.
Like Yoongi, I guess.
Yeah.
If I could have one more thing, my logo that I created for my shop is based on and inspired by Jimmy's Chimmy.
Oh, yeah. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, and so how it came about was my love for cats. I also love dogs, no shame. But what's it called? Me and my previous significant other just like really, really love like chunky cats. Like we just love chubby cats. And so when I created my shop, I was like, you know what? Let me create something that like I really love and implement Jimin within that. And so you know how like Chimmy wears this onesie or this like hoodie that covers up his whole face? Like we don't know what kind of animal he is, right?
Oh, that is so cool. Okay.
And so then I was just like, my theory is that he's actually a cat, but he's just wearing like a dog onesie. And so that's when I removed the what's it called? The hoodie, put the cat ears, and then I really love space and stars, constellation, things like that. Yeah. And so then I was like, let me put a spacesuit on him.
Oh,
so if you look at my logo, he's wearing like a spacesuit with like a little jetpack on the back. And so that's how it became.
That is
so good.
Uber Eats, go away. That's so good.
Like, see, I'm always impressed by people who can like come up with ideas like that.
Right?
like me, like I would have never like even thought to like connect the two. But hey, that is interesting.
That's super cool.
Okay, Uber Eats is all over my shit. Go away.
It's
like I already have my food.
Get out of here.
So you were about your like you mentioned your sister a couple of times. Like how integral is she in like in what you do? Like how is she an inspiration to you? Like do you guys work together on certain projects?
Definitely. She is by far like the most important person in my shop. She has helped me out so much when I had to deal with like a lot of stress, a lot of drama, a lot of this and that, just like within my shop. She's always been there to support me. And so like she has one of the most important jobs within my shop, which is like keeping me cool. And so we have this very like great brother-sister dynamic where I can be totally honest with her and I can, she can be totally honest with me, or I can bounce ideas back and forth, even though she doesn't consider herself a stan, she secretly is. And so sometimes I pass certain designs to her and I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? or when it came to like packaging, I was like, I'm trying to do this, what do you think, you know?
Right.
And she has helped me out so much. I'm so proud of her. She does so much. She's super independent, and I really, really admire that. She doesn't need like anybody to kind of just do her own thing, and I'm just like, wow, that's impressive. Like, to have somebody like that like within my life and just support me is amazing. But yeah, she like helps me pack, she helps me take things to like the post office, like legal stuff. She's always there within like meetings to try to figure out like what it is we can do with like taxes, copyright things, trademarks, all that stuff. So she's one of like the most important people within like my circle.
Oh, that's so nice.
We're the same person.
Yes. The three of us are clones of each other.
Yeah.
That's so. Oh, I love that.
I love good like sibling
relationships. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm always like I have a very good relationship with my sibling as well. And when I meet people who don't have a good relationship with their sibling, I'm always just like so surprised. Just because, like, I don't know, like, they're the person in your life who's, like, the most consistent, right? Like, they're always
and
going
the most
to be
annoying.
There. They are the most annoying, yes.
I have a little brother.
So do I. But I think, like, having that constant person that's, like, never gonna leave you and is, like, related to you and has grown up with you and, like, knows you better than yourself is such, like, an important staple in my life. Like, I could never imagine my life without my sibling, like, at all.
Yeah, for me, the way I always had a good relationship with my brother. Like, we almost have 3 years. We're almost 3 years apart, so we're fairly the same age.
Right.
But what I think like solidified our relationship is when he got diagnosed.
Right.
And so I was diagnosed like almost 3 years before him. And so for him, it was like an environment that he kind of already knew. And I was able to be there for him. And in the same way, being able to help him, help myself with dealing with the anxiety surrounding my illness. And so, like, we always had the same doctor, so our appointments were together. And like, even now we have an appointment in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to be sitting together in front of my computer talking with our doctor. And so, like, even though we're both grown ass adults, they know that we come as a package deal. And so like, oh, it's Janelle and Emery. It's both of them together.
Yeah. My brother and I always get mistaken for twins, like all the time. I'm not even kidding. Like, all of the time. It's like, no, we are not twins.
Yeah, like, people at work like have asked, because we work at the same place. We're both like different posts, but we work at the same place. And like, people will come up to us, and either they'll be surprised when they learn that we're siblings, or they'll ask if we're twins, and we're like, no. Love him, but he's not my twin.
Thank God.
It's so weird because my sister and I were not. So I wouldn't say we weren't close because we lived in a house together. Like I grew up not very like. I mean, so like I like we shared a room for like ever, because like we had like a 2-bedroom, a very very small 2-bedroom apartment, and like it was. Yeah. So we like the first time I got my own room was when I literally moved out of country. So we shared a room for like ever until I left. And we didn't have the best relationship growing up with each other, just because I think we're very different people, but I think in the ways that we're similar, we clashed a lot. And it wasn't until so even like when I left home, we didn't speak that often. We've gotten closer because she went to university this year, And so she's alone, so she's like in the UK, so she's alone there, and I'm essentially alone here because of like quarantine. Like we don't have any family where we're at, so like now I feel like we've gotten very very close, and we're not, and we're we're
And
not.
we're not physically close.
It's a weird dichotomy, but I feel like, and the thing is too, like I'm the older sibling, and I think that not by much, like we're like 3 years apart, and I think that we're 3 years apart. I'm 22, but in my mind, people think that I'm 36 all of the time just because of the
You're
way.
so wise.
Why?
You're so wise.
It's just because of the way that I act. Well, I know why I act the way that I do is because of my upbringing and my childhood. But because of the way that I act, people think that I'm like 36 or 40. It's fine. It's completely okay. So I was like a 26-year-old in a 16-year-old body, and she was 13. So it was just a lot. It was like back and forth, and we fought all of the time. I feel that like part of the reason why we get along better now is because she's older, and
Right.
also I'm like 36 and she's 18. I feel like so it
But she's
worked.
not 13 anymore.
That's true.
That is the plus side. But yeah, I feel like because like we've gotten older, it just works better. And now that I know what I know and I realize certain things, it works. It works. um,
Yeah,
Yay
to
for good sibling relationship.
Yay! We all have healthy
no,
sibling
yeah,
it's
relationships.
so weird that we all have siblings.
It's weird.
I can totally relate to that. Just because like me and my sister were never close, like ever. So we were always fight. We like early on she like hated my guts, and so for a long time we weren't really close until I started opening up about like my mental health issues, and I think that's what kind of like solidified our relationship. Where she was
Right.
like, "I care about you. I'm worried about you. Like, what can we do?" You know,
Right.
and the other thing too is that we don't have any family in the US. Like we just have each other.
Yeah.
We don't have any like uncles, cousins, aunts, like nobody. Like it's only us living in this country by ourselves.
Right.
And so we pretty much only have each other. And we have gone through so much as a family that when we finally kind of just like grew up, we kind of all came together with our different experiences, and we're like, man, like we made it.
Yeah.
We made it, and we're, you know, like we're important to each other. And so now we get along really well, even with my older brother and my little brother. We get along well. We tried our best to like just kind of spend time with each other and find out where like our love language is, to try to like, you know, accommodate to that person's like, you know, language. If for example somebody needs to spend time with somebody else, or you know, watch something just to bond, we make that effort to do so. So.
That is so
Yeah, I
true.
don't try to hug my brother. That'll push me away.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not a hugger.
For him, if I watch anime with him, then he'll be really happy.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
and yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say something about anime, but go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, don't get it twisted. If there's 7 days in the week, my sister and I like fought like 5 out of 7 of them. But if another person tries my sister,
Oh
like,
yeah, no.
period.
Only I'm allowed to treat my brother the way I'm allowed.
Yeah,
to.
no, you don't mess with my brother. He's the only one I have.
I can fight with her, okay? You can't. Okay, what were you saying?
Exactly.
There's a difference.
What were you saying about anime? Sorry.
I was listening to the podcast about you guys watching like My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan.
Yes.
It's funny, I started watching Attack on Titan when I met this person. A lot of my stories, a lot of things that I've done in my life are always gonna start with I met this girl.
Yeah.
And so when I was in college, I met this girl who was really into anime. And then so she was like, you should watch Attack on Titan. And I never watched anime. And I was like, all right, for you, I'll do it. So I went ahead and I watched it and I fell in love with it. It's amazing. I've been reading the manga.
Oh, you just made Gabby's
you started
day.
it. You just started. Here we go. It's Sunday.
No, because listen, every
Season 1, I'm sorry, Gabby.
every time we film this, I have to so I the episodes come out at like 3:45 my time. Listen, I don't know why y'all are laughing. Yes, laugh. I will
because you can't speak every single time we talk about it.
I will be the last one standing, okay? So the episodes come out like 3:45 every single Sunday, and then I have to like not be on Twitter or any type of social media app before I watch the episode because I will get spoilers, and I do not like are you like up to date? Like, do you know what's going on in season 4?
Yeah, I'm up to date on the manga. I think there's like 4 chapters left actually.
There's 4 chapters left. There's okay.
The manga? Yeah.
I haven't read the manga yet. I started reading the manga, but apparently the manga is supposed to end on April 9th.
Yes.
And there's like 8 more episodes of the anime. So according to me, the streets are saying that
the streets come back.
Listen. I heard the streets are saying that not even the animation studio knows how this thing is going to end. So there's 8 more episodes. I do not know how they're going to wrap this story up in the way that I would like.
Mm-hmm.
The season is going by very well. I like the season so far. Aaron's gone a bit like cuckoo, but we digress. I digress. The season's going well, but I don't know how this is going to be resolved in the next 8 episodes. That's all I'm saying. And another street said, I heard this from another the other side of the street. It said that we might get a finale movie. I don't know how reliable that information is.
Yeah, I was talking to my brother about it. He told me that maybe he heard from a different street, but he said that what's it called? There might be like a part 2 of the last season.
Like I but like y'all need to stop. The thing is like there has to be something because I don't see it with my like watching the episodes every Sunday. Like I don't see, and the episodes are like 23 minutes with opening and closing credits. So like we're talking like 18 minutes. I do not see with my eyes how this is going to be resolved in the next 8 episodes. That's all I'm saying. They could do it because they've done miraculous things with this show. They could do it. It might be able to, somebody might do it, but I just don't see how, and that is my rant.
This is how you trigger Gabby.
Just talk about Attack on Titan.
I'm very eloquent, but like, don't bring up this show because I lose.
Especially not Levi.
God, Jan, don't sip your tea and then be like, so Levi though.
It's not tea, so I'm fine.
Actually, Levi's OVAs are amazing. Like his backstory is pretty cool.
Listen,
You broke Gabby.
this is not how this was supposed to go.
Oh shit, my camera. Okay.
I have watched them an unhealthy amount of time because I just love that man. Like I was talking to my friend about this, and then she was like, the only bad thing about Levi is his height. And then I was just like they couldn't give him everything. Like if he had everything, there wouldn't be any room for you can't just make him this.
Oh, that's funny.
It's okay. He's a short king. He's my short king, and they better not kill him off. I already like. I don't think this is a spoiler, but I think Aaron's gonna die. Like I think everybody, Aaron, yeah. If they kill this man, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's not gonna be pleasant. But they wouldn't do that. they wouldn't do that to me because they just wouldn't.
I need to figure out what I'm gonna watch next because I was continuing Attack on Titan and then Run On, like all the episodes came out on Netflix, and so I watched that instead. And that's another K-drama in the bag, boys.
I think the first anime that I ever watched was Sword Art Online.
Oh.
And I love Sword Art Online.
Yeah, this is like a hot take
Yes.
because a lot of people doesn't, but I love Sword Art Online. I didn't really enjoy Gun Gale Online,
Same.
but Sword Art Online
Yeah.
was really good.
Yeah, I think the first season is flawless for what it
Yes.
is.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I was rewatching it recently and I was just like, I love this anime. Like,
Oh.
you know, it's
Um,
so good. That was my gateway anime. And
What's the
Mine
gateway?
when I first like actually got into anime was Fairy Tail, and I still need to finish that. I'm on the last like season, but I like whenever I was like watching more and more, I remember that when I was like a kid, I watched Sakura Card Captor,
Oh my.
and I had like the cards. Like
Oh,
I had like I had the actual like cards.
Cardcaptor Sakura, let me just like that's my
I
childhood.
watched it in French. Can you imagine?
That's my childhood right there. I would say like Sailor Moon was probably. I'm gonna age myself so much here. Sailor Moon
But it's a classic, so you're fine.
was probably my gateway anime, and then like my brother and I, we would stay up late, and he like had a TV in his room, and we would watch Inuyasha like when my parents were asleep because we were allowed to watch. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yashika came out. I don't know if you know, it's like
Oh.
Yasha Part 2.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think it's about Sashiru's daughter or something.
Oh.
I haven't seen it, but like
We
that-
still need to watch Your Name, guys.
that's
yeah.
that.
oh, your name is really good.
I love you. It makes me cry every time.
My emotions.
My emotions.
Titan was the first anime that I ever watched in full. By the way, it came the
Oh.
first season. Because the first this show is like about to be like 8 years. Can I count?
What are numbers?
Numbers?
It came
Words
out.
on a page?
It came out 2013. The anime came out 2013. I think the manga started in 2009. I might be lying. Yeah, 2013. And then no, I'm lying. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh when I was.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, listen. That's
It
another
was-
anime.
See, so I was
Beyblade.
watching Yu-Gi-Oh, and I had all of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had all
Dude,
of the
I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
And
Are you
then-
kidding me?
So my mom would buy me my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then I had this mom who was like convinced because like I was watching it on TV, and she was convinced it was about the devil. she thought it was demonic,
Oh
And-
no.
and she was like telling my mom, she's like, that is demonic, and my mom just like, well, then again, that aunt didn't want me watching Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh.
I don't know. Thankfully, we just looked at her like, what are you doing?
What?
My mom was just like, if you
Also, a thing I watched in French, in hindsight, wasn't that good.
What did you watch?
A lot of things.
Alright, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm always, the thing is, I'm always afraid to go back. Like the shows that I watched as a kid, I'm always afraid to go like and rewatch them because I don't know. The thing, I wouldn't know if I just liked it because I was a kid or if it was really good.
Or
No,
like you
no.
rewatch it and then you figure out there's a bunch of adult jokes in them, and you're like, "What the
Oh.
frick?
Oh.
Fish."
SpongeBob is
fish?
good at any age you watch it. So like SpongeBob is really good. I've like rewatched Attack on Titan like 5 times. Y'all know this.
I love Phineas and Ferb. That was
Phineas-
my shit in high school.
Listen, I watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Unapologetically. Let's be real. I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh! cards. I have played. So I used to like do summer camp. I used to teach this like summer camp. And the kids there, they love playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic and like all those card games. So we would just play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like all the time. And I'm like, yes.
Mm.
Even though, you know, I'm an adult.
And then there's me with Yuri on Ice. So like I have a fan made shirt, but like it was a group I'm still part of on Tumblr.
Mhm.
Yes. Our
My
Tumblr
dark
discussion.
Tumblr days. And so they were like, "Oh, I'm making this shirt with like it says like you real nice with a bunch of like snowflakes, but like the little things on the snowflakes are the names of the people in the group." And I was like, "I want one." And then my name has a mistake on it.
Aw.
It's
Yes.
fine.
It's fine. I'm
It's
fine.
I'm used to it. Story of my life.
Story of my life. So sad.
It's just
Oh,
it's just
actually,
no, go ahead.
sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask a quick question. Which artists did you guys like that helped you cope before you guys met BTS? Because for me, it was 21 Pilots.
Oh, yo, 21 Pilots are it.
Yeah.
Troy Sivan
Ooh.
and Pentatonics, obviously.
Obviously. I would say probably
It's like two different vibes.
Imagine Dragons is probably mine.
I have a lot because Imagine Dragons is also there for me.
Yeah. Imagine Dragons is very, very up there.
For me, like honestly, like I'm thinking, I don't think that there was any one particular artist that I related to as much as I do BTS, just because I've always enjoyed music as a whole. Like my entire family, like my mom, like all, like my mom would like walk around the house singing. My dad loves music. Like everybody's just like musically oriented. My uncle is a musician. So I've just always liked music in general. So it would be specific songs rather than artists. I guess when it like shifted with BTS was 2017 was when I first started listening to them, like late 2017. And then we get to was it May 18th? It was May 18th. I'm pretty sure that's when Love Yourself Tear came out.
We all know Gabby's love for Love
Love
Yourself
Yourself
Tear.
Tear.
I'm pretty sure May 18th, 2018. But I had been listening to them previously, and that album just, is it too far to say that album changed my life? Did it?
No.
I
With how much you talk about it, it is not far fetched for you to say
it's
that.
not unclear.
It did. I think that was my entire playlist for the whole summer that I was there. I think it also impacted me because 2017 is when I moved to Canada for the first time. So I was essentially like in my first year of uni. So then Love Yourself Tear came out at the first half of 2018. And then later towards that year, RM's playlist, Mono, came out. And then I just had to sit and contemplate because like, is this the life that I have now chosen for myself?
Yes.
No, I vividly remember like I was stressed about something. And it goes to show that I don't exactly remember what I was stressed out about at the time. But at the time it felt like the biggest like thing in the world. And then it was like a test. It was something like that I should not have been that stressed out about. But that was happening. And then all of a sudden, it's like movie picturesque, like movie-esque, because as I like to say, I am the main character of my story. Like it was Everything Goes from the Mono mixtape came on, and I was just crying, full tears, like somebody get a camera on her now because yeah. And then that was it. And the thing is, it was always very, I'm not gonna say that I used to like judge people for being so into artists because I don't think I was that way. In high school, everybody in my high school was really into Justin Bieber for some reason. I don't remember why.
No, I get that. It was the same here. That and One Direction.
Everyone loved Justin Bieber, and then I only started listening to One Direction for like their last album. So I was never the kind of person to be into artists like that, but something happened. Something happened. I know what it was, actually. When
What happened?
I'm rambling, it's part of what happened. I was like, I was feeling very dissatisfied with where I was at that point in time with my life, which is weird because I was like 20, I was 20 years old, but that is for another day. And Paradise is my favorite BTS song of all time, hands down. That is my favorite song, and it specifically has to do with the fact when they were talking about it. I think this was before the song came out, when they were doing like their end of year live, and then Yoongi was talking about how like just like slow down, just like live your life, just like be, and then I was like, oh yeah, that is true. I don't know why I, I said it like that, but yeah, that was it. It was a very I know some people can pinpoint the exact date um when they became army. One of my friends is like, oh, I like trace it back to the first picture of them I saved in my phone. I'm like, that is a good idea, but yeah,
Doesn't work for me.
I just call like my army versary and my Bangtan versary the day that Love Yourself Tear came out.
Yeah,
So
mine is sometime in May.
that is my very long-winded way of saying that I didn't really like. I don't think
Yeah.
an artist has had the effect on me that BTS has. Yeah, that is
Do
my
you
very
have a favorite BTS song, Seven?
Yes, it's Run.
Oh,
And I feel like it's underappreciated. It wasn't until like last year that I finally hit like 1 million views on the music video on YouTube.
Really?
I think it was like
Yeah.
100 million or something
I,
like
s-
that.
I say I
Yeah.
dashy run all the time now.
But this was around the time when I started listening to BTS, and I actually found BTS through this blogger that I follow. They're like a
Oh.
fashion blogger. And so she was like, I remember watching some video of her like styling a flannel, because I had bought like a flannel the week before. And I was like, I know nothing about fashion. Let me see how to like style a flannel, right? And so then she uploaded a video of her reacting to the Fire teaser. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool, but not really into K-pop. And so then like for a whole week and a half, like that like melody kept playing on my head. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I think the music video already came out. Let me go check it out. So I saw it and I was really impressed. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I get why people stand. But then on my recommendations, Run was there. And so I was like, let me click on that one and see what it's all about. So I clicked on it, and just the beginning when they play Butterfly and Tay just falls into the water, like already had me hooked. And so then once I started listening to the entire song, like it just evoked so many feelings. Because I was going through like my mental health issues around that time.
Right.
And I remember that day that song just stayed on my head the entire time. I texted one of my friends and I told them, I was like, hey, I was like, I heard this song. Um, it made me feel really sad, but I have nothing sad to be about. And he was like, that's called melancholy. And I was like, is it? And he's like, yeah, like that feeling that you get when you're just sad, but without having like a reason to be sad. And I was like, huh. And so then I heard it again, and it like literally just made like it seeped through my soul. Like I listen to Run at least like 5 times a day. Like it's on my playlist.
Yeah.
Every single Spotify wrap up, it's always like number one. Like I can't get enough of Run. And so after that, after listening to Run and seeing the music video, like I became a stan like immediately. Because beforehand, I was introduced to like Shiny, FX,
Oh yeah.
and like other artists like Infinite, but none of them made me like stay with the genre until I heard like Run by BTS. And so that song's my favorite song.
Oh, I love Run.
Yeah,
So
mine is Save Me. Like it's always forever gonna be Save Me.
Yeah.
Even though I was in an army when it came out. Like the first video I saw was Boy with Love. Like I'm a BB army. Like I'm going on my 2 years. I'm a BB. I'm a baby.
Listen,
Yeah.
apparently we're veterans. See, the thing that's crazy to me, no, like I was like,
Yeah, I know. I have the same thing. I'm like, I'm a veteran. Like, okay.
no, the thing that's crazy to, because I was talking with my friend about this the other day. There are people who are B Army. That's like,
At least it wasn't me. I'm technically
that's a good point.
I'm technically a persona army.
like there are like people who just like became army like about a month ago.
Yeah.
I don't.
They're like,
I like because you listen to the podcast, you probably know that my first comeback was Map of the Soul 7, 3 days before my birthday.
yeah, it was a birthday gift.
Still dying.
Still
a year later.
No, it's all just very like, because I was thinking about this the other day. Like I've been in here, it's about to be like 3.5 years deep in here, and I have still like I've not.
When Gabby cannot speak, it's so cute.
If you haven't noticed already, I like talking. I really don't. I'm just doing it because I have to. But I'm very introverted, but
not with us.
It's weird because I can like turn it on and off. But I was thinking the other day, I've been in here, I've been in this like 3 years deep, and I still haven't caught up to everything. It's just I haven't watched all of the run episodes.
I still haven't watched In the Soup.
I haven't watched all of the run episodes still. I haven't like delved into all of the lyrics that I need to. I haven't. There's like so much to do.
We got a lot of homework to do.
Yeah, even now I haven't like caught up to a lot of BTS related, like things.
Yeah.
I'm not on Twitter. I have a Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter.
I have a Twitter, but I don't know how to use Twitter, and I'm probably like aging myself here. But it's like really hard for me to like figure out where things are, where all like these communities are like based out of. But I do see a lot of tweets about like people, commenting on the new like BTS run or this and that. And I'm like, I was like, I'm so busy. I don't have time to check it out. But when I do, I'll add it to my list.
Okay. Here's the thing. As I said before, I am 22 going on 40, so we'll leave that at that. But I got on Twitter in February, and I too was confused about the ecosphere that is twitter.com. But I do have to say, in terms of like, I'm not even going to call it discourse because some of the conversations that be going on Twitter is just, it's nonsense. But in terms of like, I don't have any other social media, so I could just be like talking out of my ass. But I think one of like the funner things on Twitter is that you're able to like cultivate a community, kind of. So like if I would do this in biological terms, but it's like an ecosystem, and like there are just like different like pockets of things. So in the beginning it is a learning curve, it is, but it's just fun. If not for nothing, the mess on Twitter is just, it's funny to look at sometimes.
It's entertaining.
I think people having a fangirl meltdown is the funniest thing.
It's very
it's funny because it happens to me as well.
I think why I like it so much, it's very real time, so you're able to see a lot of things. So like for example, when the protests were happening last year, it was just, and sometimes that can be a positive or a negative because it's just like it can be information overload, and at that point you just have to close the app.
You also need to know how to filter the bad information, like the false information as well.
It's all there. It goes both ways. It can get very, very not good, but as I said, like if you the block button is, thank you, the block button,
block.
You can mute people. I feel like mute works better than block on Twitter because I'll be blocking people and I still see the things. I'm just like, Twitter, mute works better than block.
That's how you do both.
Yeah, you can like words that you don't want to see, you can like filter out words, so then you don't have to see anything related to that. So I think there's a positive and a negative to it too, because you don't see the things you don't want to see, but then you still don't see the things you don't want to see. So, yeah, but I think, and also I feel like since I got on Twitter at the age that I'm at now, and I'd lived my entire life with no form of social media, I also knew that, okay, this is literally an app. You are all like, you're all binary, your pixels and codes, and if I do not want to be on here, I can close the app. I also do think that it's gotten a bit, I think people can't go outside, so they're on Twitter 24/7. And I think in this state that we're in now, things on the internet seem way bigger than they
actually are
in real life,
totally.
because you can't go outside, you can't do anything, so you're just like on your phone, looking and scrolling through Twitter.
Facts.
But yeah, it's fun. If nothing else, but for the mess. There are some productive conversations that go on there sometimes. Few and far in between. But
I mean, they just came out with the Yoongi birthday goals.
yeah. And in terms of like quote unquote fan experience, as I said on last week's podcast, I've been on a lot of different on a lot of different apps. In terms of like fan experience, because everything is so real time and you get an influx of information all of the time, it's fun. It's fun if you know how to like make it fun, I guess.
It's fast paced.
Yes, it's very
yeah, things are changing like every minute on that app.
but yeah, I like Twitter.
We had a whole freak out about the sword dance practice.
Oh,
And
from
yeah, I was living for it as a Yoongi bias, you know.
It was the only thing anybody talked about on Twitter.
Yes. The edits.
It was like there for like a good 24 hours from the time that they posted the video. Then all of the Yoongi and Levi all of the Yoongi and Levi edits came out, and I was in shambles.
Apparently still are.
Yes.
Listen, the day.
Okay, so sometimes I scroll through the Facebook or Twitter, and then one of the stills from the video just appears, and I'm like, I thought I was past this, but I'm not.
You're never past anything with BTS.
I don't think I'll ever be released from the shackles of.
And we have Baby Boy hunting us like all the time. Baby Boy is JK. And he's a 97 liner just like me. How can he be so dangerous? I'm soft. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to know, so for me, like, I like to write sometimes, but it depends on the mood that I'm in. I'll either like set out to like write something or have an idea of what I want to write about, or an idea will just like come to me and then I just have to like stop everything that I'm doing and write it down before I forget. Or I'll write things in my dreams, but that's a whole different story. So I wanted to know, like, for you, Seven, do you have to set aside time to like come up with new designs, or is it just like you'll think of something and it'll just stick and you're like, oh, I need to get this out?
So that's a really good question. What's it called? Because I've been prototyping everything for like a year before I launched, I kind of like began to just create them in my head. So once I have a design idea, I'm like, okay, I was like, it needs these layers. How would I separate them? And I'm like, okay, it's done. And I'll just put it away. And then I'll go ahead and then just put it into like the app that I use. And I just start drawing everything. I do have a bunch of ideas. I do have a list of music videos too that I have to get to. That I'm like, for example, like Young Forever, Fire, Dope. And some like are really hard to create just because there aren't that many backgrounds behind. So I'm like, okay, I was like, well, this needs more layers what can I implement? And then so that's when like I guess the creative juices like start flowing more because there's just like limited space. And so I'm like, okay, like for example, Save Me is really hard because it's a blank background.
Yeah, that's
And so I'm like,
true.
okay, I was like, I have them kneeling down, but what do I add in the back?
Mm.
So it's things like that. So like the most recent one that I had trouble with was Spring Day, just because like the background's pretty plain. And so then I'm like, okay, what can I do? So then what I did was I got the album cover of them all just sitting down on the bench, put them in front of the Omela's like what's it called? Like hotel. And then
Yeah.
behind it put a train with constellations on the back. And in the front, it's snow. And then there's also like the little ducks that Namjoon made. There's 7 ducks like in the front of like the Omela's hotel. And so it's things like that that I implement into my light boxes that like always mean something to somebody, you know? And
Right.
so that's how I do them. But the thing that I do have a lot of trouble with is like pacing myself, just because like once I create something and then I have an idea, I'll drop everything I'm doing just to create that thing. And then while I'm working on it, I'll have another idea and I'll just drop that and then go on to the next thing. And so I have like a lot of unfinished projects that I've made. And one of them, I'll show it to you guys. I'll send it to the what's it called? To Instagram right now. It's something I recently made, but that's what I do.
That's super interesting. I also have that like blinder effect where I'm like working on something and then I'm like, oh, I have this really good idea, and then I shift to like something else, and then that thing is like kind of unfinished or like it's not quite exactly where I want it to be, and then like going back and forth. That's why I personally like to have like 6 or 7 different things moving at the same time, because then I can bounce between like ideas.
That is so cute.
Yeah, that's a rotating pin that I created uh, recently.
Oh, it's so
It's
cute.
so cute. I'm still not over this packaging though.
Never be over this.
I'm like, so I'm working on a painting. Okay, when I'm done with the painting, I'll show it to you guys. But I'm working on a painting, and yesterday, like, I had to like draw straight lines, and I'm just like, I was struggling. So when I see things like I was like struggling to draw this straight line, and I'm like, no, this is just not. I don't know when I'm gonna be done.
It's
But
not happening today.
Not happening.
Not today.
so I know that a lot of artists have like switched to like digital drawing. I don't know the correct
Digital
terms.
art.
Digital art, yes.
Mhm.
So like, do you like when you like start a design, do you start on paper? Do you do it digitally? Like, is there like a difference for you, or
Yeah, so it's easier to do it digitally just because I can be watching like a music video and then just get an idea from it and then just go ahead. I actually have a Note 10 Plus from Samsung and I love it just because it has like a huge screen, but it comes
Right.
with its own S Pen. So I'm able
Oh.
to kind of just create everything like right away. So for example, when I might be mispronouncing this, the Deishita song came out by Yoongi,
Yeah.
I waited when that song dropped. Well, actually, I don't even think they announced that the music video was dropping, right? I might be wrong. I can't remember.
No, I don't think they did. I think they were just
They
like
they did the countdown and we were all expecting it to be a D1 and then
Yeah.
it wasn't and then it just happened.
yeah?
Yeah, so I was finishing up work that night, and then around like, so when it dropped, I was like, well, I can't go to sleep now. Like it just came out. I have to make something out of it. And so
Yeah.
then I went ahead and within like an hour and a half, I had the whole thing ready to go to be prototyped. And so
Wow.
with the 0 o'clock music video, when it came out, within an hour, I had the 3 versions ready to go. And so I've been able to like just kind of like create so many things. And I remember a follower recently asked me that what my goal was now in terms of just like creating and being a small shop, just because they want to be a shop too and they want to create their own thing. And I was like, I think the goal now is to just create as much as possible, have it be like quality creations, but also now my business, and this is super cool. I'm able to buy albums and then write them off
Oh,
because
Oh,
they're
right, because they're
considered
an
like
expense.
research. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
And so I'm
wow.
able to go to concerts and write that off because it's
Whoa.
considered like research. I can go to South Korea and I can just be like, that's for research. And it'll be like I could write that off, you know? So like 2 days ago, I was sitting in my living room watching a bunch of like music videos by like Stray Kids, Twice, ATs, and my sister was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Work."
Yeah.
I'm working. Do you mind? That's
Pretty
that's
much.
what I do with Netflix and Amazon. I'm like, yeah,
Mm.
I'm doing research.
I'm working.
Because yeah, so I get designs from watching music videos. So then I was like, this is my job now and I love it. Like I'm able to consume media that I love and then just, make it be work and, create things like that. So, but digitally it's super easy, it's faster. I can get everything done within like an hour.
Wow.
That is so interesting. Cause I'm like the complete opposite. Since I like write so much, I enjoy like
The
putting
pen and paper.
Hmm.
and it'll be so weird because my hand will be cramping because like writing so much. I'm like, no, I need to write. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because I think it's easier to do it digitally just because you can create for example, like a perfect circle. So if
Yeah.
you need a perfect circle, you can create a perfect circle, you create a perfect line. You can duplicate things, you can erase things quicker. So,
Yeah.
it just gives you more freedom to create.
Because I still don't think that my line is straight after like yesterday. Like, I still don't
I can no longer see straight lines.
think it's like I can't.
Yeah, B tries to make straight lines, and I'm trying
Just
to find synonyms and translations every day.
no, but I just like I don't know. I have like it's really amazing that you've like found something that you're very very passionate about and that you're
And
able
it's so unique
it,
too.
and you're also able to like relatively support yourself doing something that you love, and it's cool because not a lot of people get the opportunity
Yeah.
to like be in a field that they are genuinely passionate about.
100%.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's really cool.
And I think the other thing too is that I try my best to like, because even though I do make light boxes, I want to be a brand.
Right.
Like I want to be able to expand from creating light boxes. Like I'm working with a couple artists right now to launch a clothing line.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh.
I'm currently writing my second book. And I'm working on creating vinyls. So the music box covers of like every single BTS album is gonna like I'm gonna make them into a vinyl with like original art and all that other stuff. Creating lamps, like music reactive lamps. I recently got some Bad Bunny Crocs that my sister gifted me for Christmas, and they had these really cool gibbets. And I was like, what would be cool if we had BTS gibbets? Like, why hasn't anybody done that? And
Wow.
so, I
That's
went. So,
true.
like, whenever I have an idea, I go on like Google, Instagram, Facebook, try to see if somebody has created it before, because I don't want to like step on anybody's toes either.
Mm.
Right, right.
And so, when I see, for example, I saw somebody create BT21 gibbets, but they like literally copied, like just like the drawing, and they made it into a gibbet.
Ah.
And I was like, okay. I was like, let me create my own like chibi members and then make them into gibbets for each era. So far I have 6 eras done.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And so like so the thing is that when I create something and I release it, I already have like 7 eras like already
Oh,
made to be ready to drop right after that. And so those are just like one of the things that I'm working on. And the same thing too with like what's it called, like the clothing line that I'm making.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of like fan made, no, not fan made. I saw a lot of like Redbubble. I don't know if you guys know about Redbubble, like that
Mm-hmm.
website where somebody literally just like throws up like a BTS logo and they're like merch, buy it. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
well, I was like, it could be better. Like, not to hate or anything like that. But so I was just like, what can we do to just make something like better, And so that's when I was like creating things with like serendipity, or just the singles for each member. Like I have a whole singularity jacket that's coming out. It's like a whole pilot jacket, and there's a bunch of just like faces throughout there. It's like really cool. I wish I could show you guys everything that I've been working on.
We'll be
But
excitingly waiting.
Yes.
yeah, like I'm trying my best to blow everybody out of the water, so that they can then be like, okay, well, now I want to compete with you. Like, let me go ahead and make something even better, And so I was just like, go ahead, like let's get this bread, like everybody.
Let's
there's enough
get
space
this
for
bread.
Let's get it. That's
So, yeah,
so
that's what I'm doing.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. So
That's
exciting.
interesting.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, no, so that's why I created that pin that I recently made.
Right.
So I had this shop that I was talking to, and I remember telling them like, oh, I want to expand, I want to do this, I want to do that. I was like, I have this idea for Hope World. I want to make it. Like, what do you think? And they were like, I think you should stay in your lane. And then I was just kind of like, okay. And so then after that, I was like, well, now it's just giving me even more motivation to create something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Stay in your lane?
Stay in your lane with the fish.
Bruh. No.
And so then I went ahead and made it. I already had it, have it produced. It's on its way here now. I haven't released anything about it yet, but it's gonna be a surprise drop. It's gonna be a limited amount too. But I was just like, once I do drop it, I'm gonna be like, this specifically is for you, to the person who told me I couldn't do it. Like, cheers!
Yeah.
Like I dedicate.
That I
dedicate
feel
this
like that
principle.
person is mostly scared of your ambition.
Exactly.
I was literally good. Like I was just gonna say like, your mind. Like, do these ideas just like come? Like you'll just be like sitting and thinking of something, and then these ideas just like pop into your head.
Yeah. Also, I created like jean jackets. Actually, I don't know if you guys have seen my jean jackets that I created. I hand painted jean jackets with like black line art.
I think I did it because I was like stalking your Instagram.
Of course you were.
Listen.
I wanted to be prepared. I was just like,
We love our prepared queen. Don't you?
So every time
We've been talking about this for weeks.
Yeah, because every time I go to a concert, I create a specific jean jacket for that specific group. So I went to see Monster X, and I created like a whole jacket for my bias. I went to go see the Rose. I went to go see 17 twice, and so I created like specific jackets for them.
That's insane.
And also that kind of just helps me meet people.
Right.
Where they're like, oh, I like your jacket, and I'm like, cool, who's your bias? And then we just like get to know each other like that.
Right. Yeah. They're like,
Yeah,
"No,
that's like that one instance with me in my bag at work.
Yeah. Because you can like identify. You're like, you're a fan.
I see you.
I think it's so weird when people don't like when people just say stay in your lane. Because what is
what is my lane?
Get out of
exactly?
here.
What is my lane? It's so like we've talked about this on the podcast before, but like if you listen to like the first song that BTS ever put out, and then you listen to B, and then you just like put it in like a line, and you're like, none of this is like the other.
Yeah.
None of these other, but like you do see like a common thread. Like you can see the growth. And in each project, although they're so different, they're so similar because you can see the authenticity in each one. It's just very, like, you can tell, like, they didn't just do this to do this. And imagine where we would be. We would be without Blacks. Imagine the world.
Without Black Swan.
Without Black Swan. It hurts me to even think about it, to be honest. So we're not going to go there. I'm already tearing up. I'm not even joking. But yeah, like people should be encouraged to go out of their box. Like you don't want to be like I always say, like, if you feel comfortable in the thing that you're doing for too long, then you need to change something up because just like take a risk. You like risk and reward. You don't know what on the other side of you doing something, rather than you staying in this like little niche market whereas you could be expanding yourself and like picking up a bunch of new people on the way. So
No, yeah, definitely. I think it was also just because they were a pin shop. So when I said that, they were kind of like, "Well, you should stay in your lane," and I was
yeah, they
like,
were
"Okay."
scared. That's
I
what it
was like, "All
was.
right," you know.
Yeah.
So, and this was early on when I was starting off. Like, I'm really petty in the best way possible.
Yes.
Gabby can
Somebody,
relate.
We
yeah,
already know somebody.
I have a close shop friend who was targeted by like a bigger shop
Oh.
when we're starting off, and there was this whole issue about like them using a certain type of like creative. I don't want to go into specifics because person might know who exactly who it is, but it was a specific like design or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody's free to use it. I kind of got really upset about it because I was just like, why are these bigger shops coming after smaller shops when all we're trying to do is just create something like original, you know?
Right.
And so they after they targeted my specific friend, then they came back and were like, also this other design that you have looks like mine. And I was like, no, it doesn't. And out of pettiness, I went ahead and created like a better design of whatever it is that they created. And I still haven't released it yet, but it's there. Like, and it looks amazing.
yeah.
But I was just like, I don't care. Like, if you're gonna come and go after like my friends or just like shops that haven't really done anything, they're trying to grow. Like, I think that's what also gives me the fuel to create even more and expand, because I was just like, well, now you're all competing against me, and I want you guys to see me like as a contender within your own field, you know.
Yeah, no,
But
totally.
yeah, that's what that's me.
No, I mean, I totally, I just don't understand this, like, I love a good competition like everybody else, but like if we can't support each other as artists, then what's the point? Like,
A good healthy competition is
right,
always
like healthy
good.
competition is good. Like you want to continue to fuel that fire to be like, oh, this is good, but this could be better, and whatever. We can be collaborative in our competitiveness.
It's
like,
good motivation.
Yeah, it's good motivation. I just don't understand this like need to like tear somebody else down to make yourself feel better in a creative sense.
Yeah, and it specifically started right when quarantine hit, because then everybody started their shops, and all these shops that were big, that were complacent, then saw how stagnant they were, and then they just felt threatened by everybody who was creating something original, because they thought that they were forever gonna be that like top ringing shop, right? And so I was just like, nope, we're coming.
Yeah,
coming at you, bro. Watch out.
Pretty much.
Like I always like creators are gonna create and want to like be on the same level. You're gonna have to come up with new ideas. You're gonna have to be innovative. The same things that happened that were like popping 5 years ago, it's not the same things that are going to be here in the next 5 years. So you need to always like be ahead of the game in some kind of ways.
Yeah.
And I think one of the most important things too, artists are sensitive, but you need to learn how to take criticism.
Yeah, it's okay, and healthy criticism is so good because it makes you grow.
I enjoy, and you can tell when somebody is just like giving you constructive like criticism, like in relation to somebody that's just being mean just to be mean. Because I listen, if I am like doing something and I can get better at it, please tell me. Like, just tell me so I can get better at it. Don't have I think that's what like a true friend or true like as Seven was saying, like he like his sister is like a big part of his team. Like it always helps to have somebody there with you who's just like honest and just be like, what, just somebody that can tell you this is not the one. Like and you know that it's coming from a place of wanting to see you be the best that you can be. So just take it all in stride. Like you're not gonna be perfect at every if you are, then we're not all JK, okay? We can't
oh my god.
We can't be perfect at every
boy.
Unless you're him, then I'll just
maybe Levi's.
Yeah, but it's like for most things, like it's usually just like trial and error, most of the time. Like,
Yeah, it's a lot of toxicity behind a lot of people I've met.
Yeah.
Because I try to answer like every single DM that I ever get.
mm,
I don't have a social media manager right now, just because I want people to know that the person you're talking to is me. Like if
Right.
you send me like any message, whether it's an emoji or reaction to like a story I posted, like you're gonna get a response from me like every single time, right? Um, and so in doing that, I've met a couple of people that have been kind of like not the best. I
Shitty.
befriended somebody a while back, and then I showed them a lightbox that I was working on for Monster X, and this was around the time where Wonho left the group.
Oh.
And so then I remember showing them a design, and I had Wonho on it, even though he didn't come out in the music video.
Right.
And they were like, "Why are you including him? He already left." And I was like, "Well, first of all, like that's my design,
yeah.
and forever, like, will that group be like with all its members?
Yeah.
You know?"
I
Yeah.
totally agree.
And so
Yeah.
then I was just like, "Damn, like, are you okay? Like, is there something else that is going
Did
on?"
someone
Like,
hurt you?
pretty much. I was like, I'm here if you want to talk. Like, I don't
Yeah.
like, like what is it? And I try my best not to be condescending or just like mean in general, where I'm just
Right.
kind of like, I was there at some point, like, what is going on? Like, is there something going on behind the scenes? Like, what is it? But yeah, I've had some instances like that. They're just weird.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You mentioned about you. I guess this is like a good way to segue into this because you mentioned about you.
Gabby's coming for my wig.
Coming for Jan's title.
Just wait for next week, Gabby.
No, you mentioned about you like answering like all of your like DMs and stories and stuff. We were shook when we got the response.
You broke Jess.
I was
Jess
a
was
broken person.
for the
I had
rest.
to take over because you broke Jess.
Like it was like because we weren't like I don't well at least I wasn't. Let me not speak for anybody. I wasn't expecting you to respond, but then I hear Jess like screaming in our chat. I'm like, what?
And she's like, guys, we gotta call right now.
I'm never on like social media. Like I'm like social media illiterate unless I'm still like learning Twitter. So
It
I'm
was
not
like 11 at night too.
It
Yeah.
was 9 o'clock here.
It was 11 for us, Jess.
I'm like, what is all of this commotion? And then we got on like a voice chat, and then Jess was broken. Jessica was nowhere to be found. I don't think she was on planet Earth.
No, she was
Thank
on
you
the
for
moon
putting
with
me on
Jen.
blast. Like that, I really appreciate it.
No, this did make me laugh because she was like, "Oh, I'll send them our email so we can send the Zoom link." And then I had to like stop and think. I was like, Jess. I was like, Jess, why would you send them our email? Shouldn't we ask for theirs? And then she was like, oh yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, but
It's not a joke when we say you broke Jess.
like no.
Okay.
I had to take over because she couldn't form words.
I'm so serious. Like I know we're laughing and jokes. Like I was genuinely confused. I was
We were fangirling.
I was
That's really sweet.
Jess. Like I never like I laughed so much that night at her expense, but it was funny.
But the thing is like Jess is super like she has a good way with words, and it's kind of hard for her to actually break.
Yes.
But
and
Jess.exe stopped working that day.
And she's very like put together and very like composed with her emotions and just very like I was like, who is this person?
Let me just
we have unlocked a new level of Jess. That's what happened.
So like the reason that it was very like surprising, which is I was caught off guard.
That's a likely way to say it.
Yes. So
Sorry.
guard and not just that, but like I don't know, when you like admire someone and someone for their work, it's very like uh it's very, I don't even know what the word is. It's like this like weird segment where you actually get to like talk with them in real life, and it's just like, is this happening?
I don't know how many times she said that day.
Yes.
Is this happening?
It was very much so, is this happening? I can't believe this is happening. Oh my gosh, this is happening. I can't believe this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much
Well,
it.
that's
Yeah.
really sweet. Yeah, I try my best to answer every single person. And like I said, I sleep around 3 to 4 hours a day because I am continuously just working in general. Since this is my full-time job now,
Yeah.
like I made it a mission and kind of made a promise to myself that this year I was gonna give it everything. So I was just like every single minute, every single moment I have, it's gonna be dedicated to like creating, and I love doing so. But also, I have a lot of
Sorry, my
customers.
parents started vacuuming.
You can't hear it.
You're fine.
I have 1/3 of my customers are international. So
Oh,
if they have a question or if they have an issue or anything like that,
right.
I'm awake to answer any of their questions. So
Mm.
whenever they DM me like at 3, 2 in the morning, like I'm there answering them.
Like me last
Wow.
night.
Pretty much.
I
Actually, I
took my
want to.
sleep. I took my sleeping meds, went to bed, and then 3:30 I was like, "Hello, I am here."
Actually, when I replied to the message, I was just like, I don't know if I should reply. What if I wake them up by like creating like a sound for a notification or something,
Nah, you
Um,
could.
but
That's why
yeah.
my phone is always on mute.
Yeah, true. Otherwise, I feel like the chat would
Otherwise,
be
BTS would wake me up basically every
every
night.
day. Yeah.
Facts.
Allergic to sleep. So it's terrifying.
But I do like replying to anybody who like mentions me, shouts me out, or anything like that. Like I really, really appreciate. Like it means the world to me, and I say that a lot. And I know I say that a lot, and I tell my followers that I know that I do say that a lot. But it really does. Like honestly, um, "We Are Bulletproof the Eternal" means so much to me, just because that was like the defining moment where my shop exploded in like popularity and in like just sales and things like that, where I was just like, this song not only means so much to me from the perspective of being a stan for so long,
Yeah.
but also that this is like the defining moment within my shop that I can now continue to move forward towards that. And so that's why my whole aesthetic is based off of We Are Bulletproof the Eternal. Like the colors that I chose for like my highlights, my packaging, everything like that. It's like that. And like the one last thing with the packaging, they're gonna come with exclusive photo cards. And if you put them together, if you collect all of them and put them together, it creates an image on the back.
So wild.
What? That's so
So it's very
wild.
like K-poppy, like it's very K-pop,
That's
and so that's
so
I was just like, that's what I want to do.
cool.
I love
It like
that.
it like makes sense because at the beginning you were saying that you understand like K-pop and you understand all of it, so it like comes through in the things that you make. That's really
Even
cool.
like the small things.
Yeah, so
Wow.
the whole thing was like, so I tried my best to like look for another shop that was doing the same thing because I was like, there has to be,
Right.
There's like thousands of shops. I know some of them make bank. I'm sure that they got to that point, and nobody had done it. And so I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it, and I hope that when it is released, that other shops that see that can then invest in that as well.
Mm.
So hopefully that does happen.
It just means so much to like take so much care with a piece of work, because like like even just like opening it for the first time and just like seeing the amount of effort and work that went into not just the creation but just like the entire thing. It's like it's an experience. Like you get to experience a
I'm
whole thing.
not gonna lie, so
Thank you for
excited to
saying that.
order my first one. Like it's gonna be so exciting.
Oh yeah, I can't. You know what? I was showing my roommates, Caden and my brother Matt, and I was like, yeah, these are gonna go all over the house. So if there's like 6 or 7 of them, like, don't at me, all right?
Because I want one on my bedside table whenever I move. Like,
Oh, yeah. And so that's the other thing too that I was talking to a couple of like friends about, like other shops, where when other shops started like coming out creating night boxes too, they were like, are you worried that, like you're not gonna do as well anymore? And I was like, not really. And mainly it's because I'm not selling a product, I'm selling an
Mm,
experience.
yeah.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
try my and so that's why that this whole packaging, exclusive photo cards, everything came to be, where I'm like, this is gonna be an experience of you opening it,
Yeah.
and then when you plug it in, that's a whole nother experience. And the sound module, it's a whole nother experience that you can just add
True.
to it. And so
Yeah.
we're also working with different organizations this year to donate profits to like planting trees, donating to like children's hospitals, COVID relief. And also, we're going to start doing a podcast as well. Me and my
Oh.
sister are going to start a podcast, and it's going to be mainly centered around immigration
Oh
Mm.
wow.
because we're immigrants, but
Right.
it's going to be mainly about the stories of people coming to like the US and from different backgrounds, because we all came in a different manner.
Right.
And so I wanted to kind of put like a scope on people understanding that it's not like, oh, I was in the border and then I jumped like a small wall and now I'm here.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
we walked in the desert, we were dehydrated for months or for days or weeks. And it's just like a whole thing. Like other people came by boat, some people's family members passed away trying to like, reach a better life and attain the American dream. And so me and my sister want to go ahead and create that podcast and interview people who have come to the US and have like made that migration. And at the end, we want to ask some questions, and we also want to ask like thought-provoking questions because I
Right.
wanted to ask somebody like, was it worth it? Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
was it worth you coming here? If you had the opportunity to tell you like your younger self to come or not to come, like, would you? What about like your kids? What about this and that? And then interview the children, hopefully that are young adults, and then ask them like, what is your experience living in the US? Like, who do you identify as, like an American or the person you were born as in your like origin country?
Mm.
Or is there an identity crisis? Is there anything you want to talk to your parents about that they might not understand? Because for me, it was mental health, and I
Right.
think for my parents too, it was a sacrifice that they made coming here, and them thinking that we don't understand that sacrifice. And so I just want to have like an open discussion within my community to like bring about that like awareness of these issues. And so that's another project that we're currently working on, that we're hopefully going to be able to launch this year, but we'll see.
No, I'm like I'm excited for that because like I understand I understand it to like a degree because like I'm the first person from my like immediate family, um like being like my mom and dad and my sister. I was the first person to leave, and uh there's this like undercurrent of like I think one of the reasons why I worked so hard in high school is that shit I can't stay here.
Mm.
I like getting an education and leaving for university was honestly I felt like it was my only way out and the only way that I could leave, and I completely understand about the mental health part because it's like I wouldn't s- back home I wouldn't say life is terrible, um but it is what it is, and sometimes you'll hear people like especially when it comes to like the topic of like mental health, it'll be like, well, we don't have water, so why are you focused on your mental health situation? I'm just like, as I've grown on, like all of these things grow hand in hand. Like, how can you expect someone to like not have running water, and then expect them to be okay mentally? It just it does not like make sense,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's like a lot of the mentality that a lot of like, let me not say a lot, back home because I don't want to speak for anybody else. I feel like that's the mentality that a lot of people have, and we don't talk about it because it's almost like taboo to even mention that, oh, like I'm not doing okay. And I'm like grateful for the fact that I did grow up like in my family, where like my parents have always just been like, yeah, if you need help, then you need help. Like if you just like need to make sure that you're okay. And I feel that's a luxury that most people don't have. And yeah, I'm really excited to hear
Yeah.
it. I think it'll
Oh yeah,
be
definitely.
very
What's it called? I think also like talking about resources, just because growing up,
Right.
I didn't know I had resources. Like I didn't know that I had a school psychologist. I didn't
yes.
know that I could go talk to her. I didn't know that there was like a health center in my college that I could just go to anonymously and have like a therapy session. And it wasn't until late in life that I found out that I had those resources, and I tried my best to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like bringing awareness to that too, that there are resources, free resources as a low income like student, or just like a student in general,
Right.
or as a person in general, like within your job, you have the ability to what's it called, attain those resources, because they are there, you know. I'm very open about my mental health. Most of my followers know that I dealt with like clinical depression for more than a decade, and I try my best to be as open to them as possible, just so that they know that it's nothing to be ashamed about.
That's so
And I've
cool.
shared enough to the point where I was partially hospitalized at one point, just because it got so bad. But like through those experiences, I learned, and so now that like my DMs are always open to anybody who wants to talk about things like that, where I can only help out so much, but you know I do have resources that I can point you to
Yeah.
go ahead and get the help that you might need. Because professionally, like there are people whose job it is to help you get better.
100%. 100%. I think it's important to talk about those issues. I think that's why, like, when we did last week's podcast and talked about, like hashtag Bell Let's Talk, it was an important thing to all three of us to talk about, because I feel like it's not all the time. And then, we have like the hashtag and then it's forgotten about, or like it's pushed to the side. And I think it's a constant thing that we always need to keep reminding people about, is to just like talk about it. And it doesn't even need to be with like the people that you know in real life. It can be like somebody who isn't a part of your life, but just talk about it. It's okay. Like it happens to everyone, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
you know?
Some people it happens earlier, some people it
Yeah, it
happens
later.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
some are at
that's
different
awesome.
stages too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I try my best to like um put that out there, where I was like, regardless of how you feel, it's okay.
Yeah.
Especially with the pandemic, super understandable, especially now, you know.
It brought out a lot
more things
than people expected.
Yeah. I think
Than just like a pandemic.
Yeah, like being by yourself for that long of a period of time, you get to really know what's going on the inside of your brain, and that voice that's always there but you can't always hear.
Yeah. Like I like sometimes like being around yourself 24/7 is just
like who the fish is this person? Like
yeah,
why?
I think it just like forced a lot of people to confront things that they never thought of before. Or let me rephrase that. It's harder to drown out your thoughts when you're the only person in the room.
Yeah.
And it's just you take notice of the thoughts that are running through
your mind. 100%. Like I felt like the pandemic, like I had been so focused on work and career, I had never taken a break. Like I went 6 years university, was working for 2 years, went another 2 years in college, and then I just continued to work, and there was no period for me to like chill out, and like actually like think about all of those things. And so when the pandemic hit and it was just like an immediate like stop, and just like sitting with myself, I was like, oh, wow, I have a lot of thought. Who is this person?
That's why I'm excited to move, not just because yes, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna be living with my significant other and whatever, but also because I'm moving countries, I'm not gonna be able to work for at least 6 months.
Right.
And so ever since like I was young, I was either in school or in school and working or working.
Yeah.
So like I was in college, started working. So I was doing full-time college, part-time working, same thing in university. And at one point I was doing like 20, 25 hours a week at work and 5 like full-time classes in university. Like I'm crazy. Ugh. And so I'm working basically overtime every week because we're short staff. Pharmacy life, hashtag, let's go. But like that's why I'm so excited, because I'm very glad that with the pandemic I got to keep working, because it made me go out of the house and it made me see like other people than my family. Love my family, don't get me wrong, but like just to be able to interact with other people helped a lot. But also I need a break. That is more than 2 days.
Yeah, this is crazy because I've always, like I mentioned before, I've always been by myself. So I like when the pandemic hit, it didn't really make that like much of a difference, just because I was like, I've always by myself anyway at home. So it's not like it made a huge difference, right? And I was lucky enough to have a job where they let us work from home. And so I was just like, okay, it's fine, you know. But I began to like really, really miss people, like extremely. And I didn't think that would ever happen. Recently one of my coworkers messaged me, and they were like, hey, just giving you an update about like life or whatever. And and then the last thing that they said was like, yeah, you know, but like we're here, we're fighting, and I miss you. And like literally them just saying that like broke my heart, but it also kind of just like melted my heart at the same time, because I was like, you're like a big sister to me, and this is like the first time I'm hearing your voice in like so many months. And the fact that you miss me and you just like said it, like just made such a huge like impact at that specific moment, where I was just like, now I just want to cry. And I was just like, man, I really do miss people, you know. The other thing was that it taught me that I'm not built for city life. I have recently found out that I feel very claustrophobic living in LA. There's like just too many cities, it's too loud. I was lucky enough to take a small break into the countryside. And now my goal is to move into like the middle of nowhere with like a couple of corgis and a couple of cats.
Oh, that's
And
so
just
cute.
live out my life there, like in a farm setting.
The
you know?
dream.
Yeah, that's my dream now. That's
I
my
love
dream.
it.
Yeah,
I
I realized that as well. It's like I think we're pretty much all introverts in some aspects.
Mhm.
I believe so.
I
I'm mostly looking at Gabby.
Listen, I think that, see, there's this.
I fake extrovert.
Okay.
Being an extrovert.
I tell people that I'm an extroverted introvert. When my battery is dead, leave me alone.
Here is the thing, right? This is me. But this is like my persona, kind of like
There it is.
personality. I mean, it's still my personality, and I feel like I've gotten to a point where like I'm so good at like switching it on and switching it off, but like I no. My thing is writing. I write all of the time. I express a lot of things through writing, but I'm not like, when you meet me, I am oh shit, something else. Sorry.
What the fish?
No, when you meet me, I am like cheerful. I am how I come across, but like I enjoy solitude. I enjoy being by myself. I have been alone in my home because my roommate left and she hasn't come back. I hope she don't come back. Oof. She left. She's been gone since like early December, and I've been living the time of my side. I get my groceries delivered. I have been alone. Like I like, obviously, like I talk to my sister on the phone. I talk to my mom on the phone, but I haven't had like an interaction with
a real person.
With a real person in months. Okay.
See, I go to work and then I get yelled at because their insurance is not working. Like, this is my daily life.
No, like it's like, maybe I don't know if it's like concerning how okay I am with solitude.
No,
but
that's
like,
fine.
I just like being by my. I'm not lonely when I'm alone. If that,
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't
For,
feel lonely. I'm
for
just
me, I realized that because I'm the kind of person, like as I said, I'm an introverted extrovert. No, an extroverted introvert. There you go. Where like I can sit in Discord or like with someone without talking. Like I enjoy people's presence, but we don't necessarily need to interact.
Yeah.
Mm,
That's the kind of person I am. So like
Yeah.
whenever I was in school, like in secondary school or whatever, I would sometimes call my friends and we would be like just sitting in a voice call and just doing our homework together, not necessarily talking, but like I knew they were there. Like I do that with my significant other all the time. I do that with Jacob. Like we sleep in Discord most nights. Like we role playing or video games. Like he's on this side, I'm here, and we're just like I see him, he's there, but we don't necessarily need to talk for me to feel like complete.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like that comfortable silence, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's something that like I learned about in relationships and just how like healthy that is, because you know you like date somebody and then once you move in with them it's like a whole thing, but it's not like you're gonna talk every single day. You know,
Right.
I feel like there's just so much you can still grow and that's the goal, but there are some days where you're not gonna say much and that's okay. Like that's totally okay to be doing that, for that person to be doing their own thing, for you to be doing your own thing and just being in that comfortable silence, because at the end of the day you love that person and you know that that person loves you, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. So true.
Okay.
Just as like
Okay. No, that was fun. No. I
are we ready to go to songs of the week?
yes, we are.
Are we?
Are we ready to I'm getting back my master of segues, guys. I'm coming back.
It's been stolen.
Hey.
Okay, just one thing before we
Oh, shit.
no, it's not even a question. It's like
No, it's fine.
It's
Go
fine.
ahead.
no, I just want to say it was really, really nice having you here with us today.
Yes.
It's
I
been
really
like
appreciate
it's been the three of us for like the past like 6 weeks.
It's true.
If you ever want to come back, like for real, just
It's
whenever.
I enjoyed like picking your brain and just like talking to you. I think it was very, very insightful, and for me at least, and very
yeah,
helpful.
whenever
So
you guys want to, an open book, and I love talking. I try my
yes.
best to like hold back in this podcast just because honestly
No.
No,
talk
don't.
way too much in
No.
person. I
Okay,
don't
we're
know.
gonna have you back at one point and just
Yeah.
don't hold back.
Yeah. Listen, we don't. We talk all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Like every time we turn off the camera, we still talking.
We're
We
still
still
yeah.
talk until we're like tired of talking and then we just hang up.
Or Gabby has to go watch Attack on Titan.
Yes.
So I can get back on Twitter because I
Yes.
can't be on Twitter.
And then she gets into the group chat and she gets attacked.
That's true.
It's just a lot of things. But no, thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming.
We love
Thank you for
having
having
you.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was really looking forward to being here today. It was like the only thing that I was looking forward to in a while.
We talked
Us
about
too.
it basically every day since we set up the date. Not
It's
gonna
true.
lie.
Good things, I hope.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It's been so difficult to hide this from our
Yeah.
group chat too, because like all I wanted to do was tell them what was
Because the
happening.
thing is like, I think it was last weekend. I
Yeah.
met up with someone in the group chat and we went like grocery shopping, like for like Korean snacks and whatever.
Mhm.
And then she was trying to pick my brain and have me tell her some of the surprise that are coming. And I was like, I can't tell you.
I can't. Like I
You'll
want
have
to
to watch
so
the
bad.
podcast.
You're gonna have to wait.
No, yeah, that's how I felt too. Because I was like, should I be? Because I've been like listening to all your podcasts, and I was like,
Sweet.
should I comment? I was like, I don't know, because if I comment, I think
Oh.
somebody's gonna be like, hey,
Hey,
that's kind of suspicious.
what's going
Yes,
on?
Now,
Yes.
now you're
What's
free to
going on there?
comment.
It's true.
Now you're free to comment.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're now officially friends. I've said it.
It's out in the universe. It's done.
It's done.
Wait, quick question. Have
Yeah.
you guys seen La La Land?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god. That's my favorite movie of all time. We're officially friends now because
Yay!
if you love La La Land as much as I do, that's just like we're best friends.
Listen.
I had to force
have-
Jacob to watch it with me, but like,
I have a confession to make. I haven't seen it, but I'll see it and I'll watch it and get back to
Go
you.
see it. It's very
So-
good.
it's very good.
So Gabby, if you want to watch it and you don't want to stream it somewhere or pay for it to be streamed, in my bio, I have a link tree at the very bottom. I uploaded the movie in my personal Google Drive, so you can watch it whenever you have time.
There you go.
And
There
it's
you
also
go.
just because I really, really love La La Land and I want everybody to watch it, so I'm always
It's
posting about
such
it.
a good movie.
It's
That-
so
that's
It's
good.
amazing.
And
I
the
love
music
it.
is so good.
That's how I am with Attack on Titan. I give people my Crunchyroll password.
Yo, I have some memberships. Because I have a premium membership, and they're like, "Oh, you want to give this to someone?" I'm like, "I don't have anyone to give it to."
I like freely give out my Crunchyroll like user ID and password because I want people to. But you know what? It's like the amount of, as I said this before, the amount of promotion I'm doing for the show, I should be paid for it.
Realistically.
We move.
Same. This movie came out a while ago too, and I'm just like always ranting about it. Actually, in every single conversation that I have, I always ask somebody, like, out of like the thousands of conversations that I've had in my DMs, I've always asked people like, by any chance, have you seen La La Land?
It's like the friend initiation. You're like, okay.
Pretty much, it's a
Here's the
prerequisite.
level of cool that we need to establish before we're friends.
I am happy to report that no attack has been done so far in the group chat.
Thank God, because I don't want to get back there and then die.
Also, the clip came out successfully.
Okay.
That was 25 minutes ago.
Excellent.
All right, songs of the week, everyone.
Oh yes. Songs of the week. Who wants to go first this time?
Should I
I
guess
can-
first? Do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, Jane,
I can
first.
go.
Go.
So my BTS song this week is we talked a little bit about it earlier. It's Fire.
Fire!
Yeah, every single time I say something is fire, Jess starts like she always sings that. Like like I have my own like sound effect and it's Jess.
What can I
It's just like, do I have to say anything about it?
say? No, it's fire.
It's fire. Literally.
It fires, man.
In fires, man. My sack worldwide.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And my non-BTS song this week, I'm putting a throwback here and I'm staying true to my province. My song is When I'm Gone by Simple Plan.
Simple plan.
I love Simple Plan. Like when I was able to see them live in 2017, it was a dream come true because I grew up listening to them. So those
Simple
are my
Plan.
songs this week. Yeah, Simple Plan is so good.
They have this song called Addicted, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I love that song.
They're also the one behind Jet Lag too. That was one that went
Oh.
like super viral.
Yes. The English version is with Natasha Bedingfield, right?
And I have my hot take for that. Marie-May should have done the English version as well. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Who's next?
I'll go. So, my BTS song for this week is Telepathy. Call me a clown. You know what? You may say that I'm a dreamer, in the word to Bobby Millie Brown. But have you guys seen the meme of Millie Bobby Brown? You may say I'm a dreamer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I'm putting my tinfoil conspiracy hat on. I want a video for Telepathy. You know what? I would take it for Disease, but I think
But the thing is, like, we talked about it last week, and you were like, "You guys are clowns," and we're like, "I know."
I live in Clownville, so what do you want me to do about that, Jan? What do you want me to do about that?
Well, welcome to Clownville.
Yes.
Oh
안녕하세요. Clowny Buddha.
Yes.
My BTS song is Telepathy. And my non-BTS song, I don't know if you guys know this artist, like he's an up-and-coming artist. He's not really like, I mean, he's well known, but like the song is People by August D. I don't know if you know about him.
Tell us more about this new artist.
Like, you know what? I feel like you should like experience it for the first time, to be honest.
Right.
I don't think my words
I have this next to me.
Oh gosh. Jen, how did you hear about this?
I did not know.
You know, I'm in love with this man.
Like, Jess, you're the only person left out now. So
I'm a clown. We'd established this.
No, I like, there's like the clip on Twitter of Yoongi just like singing like People when he did the V Live, and I have watched that an unhealthy amount of time. Yeah, I just think it's a great song. So yes, Jessica.
Okay. So my BTS song this week has been stalking me, literally, like on Spotify, on TikTok, on Twitter. Every single time I open those damn apps, this song just happens to come up. And
we talked about it last week too. It's funny.
Yeah, Magic Shop was stalking me last week, and then Dimple is stalking me this week. And I'm specifically talking about a very specific performance of that freaking song. The Fifth Muster.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes, this seems concerning. Are the songs stalking you, or are you stalking the songs? Because at this
no.
very like
at this point.
No, they're stalking me. They're stalking me. I swear. I swear.
All right. Okay, I believe you. Okay.
Yeah, Dimple, that performance, I don't know what was going on that day, what was happening. The vocal line was just on another planet. And then they played, it was like Dimple, Pied Piper, which I don't even want to get into that song, and then Dang at the end. And just like those three songs together with the choreography that they created for Dimple, I'm just like, how's that? You know, Dimple's maybe illegal, but so is that. So is that performance.
Yeah.
Save me, please. And my non-BTS song is Imagine Dragons Shots. Smoke and Mirrors was the first concert I saw of theirs, because they actually came to Calgary when they were doing their Night Visions tour in like at my university, and using my university like area as their concert hall, and I missed it by a day, and I was so upset. So I was like, I vowed since that day I would always go to one of their concerts, always. So
always a good time.
Yeah, no, it was such a good concert, and that's where I met Halsey, like, for the first time.
Yes,
like...
same for me, but I was in Montreal. we weren't together. We didn't know each other.
Yeah, we didn't know each other yet. But yeah, Imagine Dragons, they will always hold a special place for me, 100%.
Imagine Dragons is really good. I was listening to their old stuff, their old EPs.
Yes.
And then they had like Hear Me and all those other things.
Night Visions is just like that album.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. Like with Radioactive and like Tiptoe, every single one of their songs on that album I could always listen to. There's not a skippable song on that album.
No, yeah, they're all good.
Yeah.
All right. 7.
So for my BTS song, it's not a song that came out in an album. It was a gift to all ARMY. And it's by it's by Jungkook and RM, and it's called I Know. And that song has been playing in my head for the past couple of weeks. And I remember the first time I heard it, I legit cried, because that was the first time I've ever heard an idol mention fanboys and how much like they love them and appreciate them. Because at the time there weren't that many I guess just like fanboys that were actually, you know, like putting that out there that are like, I love BTS or K-pop in general. And so when I heard them sing that song and that lyric, I was just like, my heart, it's melting. So I love that song. So that's my song. And for the other song, It's called Running in the Night, and it's by an artist called FM84, and it's featuring the vocals of somebody called Ollie Wright. And I love this song. It has very like 80s city pop synths, and it's amazing. Like it's so good. Every person I share it with ends up loving it. I hope you guys do too. But it's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's hands down just
Check that out.
hits me in the feels every time.
Oh.
Alright. Jess, do you want to announce the announcement?
Oh, the other announcement. So,
The other announcement. We have a surprise.
we have two surprises, actually, that just happen to be kind of the same surprise, but for different things.
Yeah.
Made no sense. It's fine. We're living. Okay, so to celebrate our guest and also the 7th episode, we decided we're going to do 2 separate giveaways. So we're going to do one here on YouTube and then one on Twitter as well. So the one on YouTube, we just want you to subscribe and comment in the comment section what your favorite BTS song is and why. And you'll be winning the elusive whale. I got my
The
hands.
elusive
The
Weaver's
elusive
whale.
I got my hands on one of those, and so I am giving it away to one of you. And you'll also get the Wall Street Journal magazine because I have an extra copy. So that'll be for that. And then Twitter, you just gotta follow on Twitter, and we will put out a tweet that says all the rules and stuff, which says, what is your favorite BTS album and why? And you just need to comment on that post, and then the gift will be the Be Essential album, which I also pre-ordered. So worldwide, don't need to worry about that. I will send it anywhere you'd like.
Masak worldwide.
Exactly.
I felt that was
Exactly.
appropriate.
It is appropriate. So the album will be ending when I actually receive the album, and then I will leave the whale one until I actually receive the elusive whale.
The elusive whale.
The elusive whale.
But we'll post about the giveaways on Twitter and Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Maybe TikTok. We'll see.
We'll see
We'll see.
if we feel like it.
We can also make a post on YouTube too.
Yeah. All the things.
All of
It's the number 7 is very important.
It's very important to everybody.
Nice.
So we decided to celebrate it in the best way that we know how, which is to have a wonderful guest with us and also to give back to all of you. So.
All right, let's close this So, I'm back.
Master of segues.
Okay, so as many of you know, we have a podcast every Thursday. That doesn't change. We now have the highlight clips coming out every Sunday, 3 p.m. EST as well. Can follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We have a TikTok. Not very active there as of now, but we do have one. Don't forget to send us memes.
Yes.
We've been asking for memes. Please send us memes.
Anyway, yeah.
It doesn't need to be BTS related. We just
All
want memes.
Anything you want.
And we're everywhere where you can listen to podcasts. Literally everywhere. I say this every week. We're everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, I have to say something. I was telling Jess something this week. I was looking at who where listens to the audio version of the podcast. Apparently, our biggest audience is Texas. I don't know how that happened, but thank you.
Shout out to Texans.
Shout out to Texas.
37% of the people who listen to the audio comes from Texas. Thank you.
Shout out to Texas.
That was unexpected, but yes. Sorry, Jan, for interrupting your
flow. It's fine.
Okay.
And so as usual, don't forget to comment, subscribe, and ring the goddamn bell. Because otherwise you won't know when we post.
It's true. Yeah. And 7, where can they find all your stuff?
Yes.
So I'm at ArtistNameSeven in all social media platforms, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter.
All right.
Well, and I'll have all those links in the description.
Yes, it's all down here. Well, thank you very much for joining us, 7. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. It was an amazing time. I loved it.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice to hear.
Yes.
All right. And I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
Yeah, have a good week, guys.
Have a good week.